Whoa, hey, hello, welcome one and all to episode 67 of the Megavision Show, the companion podcast to Megavision's magazine. Today is January the 17th, 2021. I'm Graham Cookson, the production editor of Megavisions, and joining me this week, he dreams the same dream, he wants the same things, but we won't ask exactly what that is right now. It's Scotty Moe, the managing editor for Megavisions. And our special guest this week, joining us from the Scrubverse podcast, as well as being the master of streaming at Megavisions. He's our very own Wizard of Oz, the man behind the veil of our Dreamcast Marathon live streams. It's Corey, aka Tornado Jones. Way!
Hello.
Hello. We are back.
We just
live.
fused.
You just fused. That was actually pretty cool, actually. I like that. That's
Yeah, now we're super...
We did it wrong, though. Now we're super fat.
Oh, no. Now we're a Tornado Mo.
Oh, boy.
Uncle Mo, here I am.
Oh, boy.
Love it. I love this live streaming stuff. So, yeah, we are back live once again on Twitch. So keep us company and fire us any questions you have here in the chat, and we will try and get to you as we go along through the show. And as always, we'll be answering some of your burning questions. We have our picks of the week, where we'll be chatting about a TV show that I've become obsessed with, a couple of old indie games, and Keanu Reeves' original audition for the Matrix quadrilogy. Yes, we have all that, plus our feature discussion, where we'll be discussing about Sega's recent Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 announcement. And so without further ado, or I don't, let's crack on with this week's Megavision Show. Yes, excellent. Hopefully that intro worked again. I always get nervous with that. But yes, as always, we'll be kicking off our show with how our week's been going. So, Scotty, let's start with you, my friend. Tell us about how 2021's been treating you after last week.
Stressful as hell as I prepare for our country to just fall in on itself, but that's nothing here nor there. No, it was my birthday last week, so I got a couple weeks up.
Birthday!
Don't do that, we might get...
I sing it too good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do the Beatles version, then we definitely won't get hit. No, I got, stuff for my birthday. I won't talk about everything. I decided not to do a whole lot of those haul posts anymore because, those were apparently my most popular things on Instagram. So it's like, well, cool. People just love me for what I have, not for what I am.
Welcome to the real world, Scotty.
Yeah, right. So I got, I got this. Rachel got me a new keyboard, and it's wireless and colorful.
I'm super jealous that it's wireless. I've been looking at keyboards for myself now, and I'm trying to justify not spending the price point that you spent or that someone spent for that one.
For the listeners, it's now purple, and it's going to turn sort of red, pink, and then red, and then purple, and yellow, and blue.
Yep.
So shiny.
It's the Razer Black Widow V3 Pro.
Yep.
It's got a little volume knob, all kinds of stuff.
The biggest thing is that wireless.
Meanwhile,
ability.
I'm just rocking my Microsoft keyboard, which I got from...
I've got a mechanical one, but it's wired, and it's not RGB colored. It's just white backlit.
Yeah, I learned about...
Mine's a soft touch one for typing for work, basically. Not
okay.
Cool.
I learned about cherry switches. This is a yellow switch. It also came
cherry,
with
there's blue, there's brown.
Oh, wow.
I already had a wrist rest, but this one, horror. But that's pretty nice, a nice upgrade. And it'll be really nice because I sit over on my futon when I stream console games. So the biggest issue is taking the keyboard from the computer and whatever. I won't. She got me a cool, ugly sweater with Ein on it, which is in the wash right now. I kind of wish Pal was on because he introduced me to this game, but I got the signature edition of Cloud.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
It's the PAL version. You can see the Peggy there. Oh, or can you? Sort of.
Sort of.
Peggy 16.
Peggy 16. But so I'll just I meant to open this ahead of time and tell you guys what was in. But for those that have not heard of Cloudpunk, it's an indie game where it's essentially a more chill Crazy Taxi, but for the legal underground cyber world. But this one came with it's a very story driven game. Came with a piece of art. It's the PS4 version. And it has a fun little postcard thing, double-sided. I'm not sure what that is on the back, honestly.
I know Powell was on this game for a long time. I think he was when he first started.
He streamed it a couple of times. Yeah. The soundtrack that it comes with.
I've never heard him talk about this game.
Oh wow.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay,
but the soundtrack is 2 discs, and it comes in one of those album kind of things that's like plastic but cardboard, but just a clamshell. Yeah. That's the word I was trying to think of. And then it comes with 2 pins. I don't know if you'll be able to see through the plastic, but it comes with the logo, and then her dog Camus. Camus in the game, it's sort of not spoilers because you meet him in the first couple of minutes, but so basically she drives a taxi. I forget the main character's name. She kind of sucks, actually. She's got like an attitude that isn't necessary, but you are a taxi cab sort of driver or like I guess it's more like a legal Amazon transportation. But Camus is her dog that is downloaded digitally into her car, essentially. So like he talks to you and
so it's Kit?
Directs you and It's
Kit from Knight Rider, that show with
not as much attitude, but yeah.
It's a dog.
Can't be Knight Rider.
Wow. No. Okay. But
that's cool.
Yeah, this came out on PC first, and it's out on PS4. I don't know what else it's out on. So
have you played it yet?
Oh yeah, I played it when it was out on PC, sort of like right when it came out on PC. But it's a cool game. It's a very chill game, very lax, and it's made with voxels. So when you actually get out of the car too, and you walk around and stuff. I guess this is my small hot take on the game. I assume just nobody knows about it since it is still pretty indie. But you walk around and you have to go pick up the packages and talk to people in the seedy underground of the future and all that stuff. And like, it's a weird world. And I remember I stopped at a point where you had to lie about meeting someone in the outskirts of town for band practice. Cause like freestyle music is illegal or something. I forget. So one of those weird dystopian Big Brother things, but, it's cool. It's fun. They updated it vastly with like the view when you would walk around. It was so zoomed out, and like the game is very scenic, but you could easily lose yourself. And it was cool until you realize, oh, I don't even know where I am or where I can walk into and whatever. But they updated it since then with a first person view, so it's easier to walk around. I haven't played it since then, but that was definitely needed. And then checking my notes here. Keyboard, PS4 game, custom Game Boy Pocket. Anybody?
I was gonna be like, you better bring it up.
Yeah. Well, for a little bit of background, Corey and I were hanging out after a stream one night, and we were talking about, probably because Game Tracks does his custom GBAs, and we were talking about different stuff like that. And I was thinking, and I just thought out loud, like, oh, I realized I have almost every iteration of the Game Boy except for the first one that I owned, like for myself, because for a while my brother and I shared a green Game Boy brick and basically just played the only 2 games we had for a long time, which was Kirby 2 and Centipede Millipede bundle thing.
Oh man, you were living on the edge.
Tell me about it. But so, I mean, we also at that time we were going to daycare, so kids always had games to like trade with each other and stuff. So it wasn't like we were isolated in that term, but but eventually I got my own Game Boy, and it was a Game Boy Pocket. And I remember for whatever reason, I got the James Bond game with it because that was just what was out at the time, which is like, it's not too bad of a game. That game is like a top-down Zelda view, but you are James Bond and have to go through different areas and sneak around a little bit. There's not too much stealth really, but it's not a bad game. I think it's just called 007 James Bond or something. But Corey and I were talking about it, and I realized that like I still have a brick, I still have my Color and the Game Boy camera. I like found my brother's old Game Boy Color, and I still have the SP. I never had a GBA. I kind of skipped that, and when I went to Neo Geo Pocket, and then eventually got a Game Boy SP. So keeping that in mind, I was like, wow, I don't own the first handheld I ever, aside from the Game Gear. And so what shows up in the mail what is this case that you gave me, first of all?
So
it's like
that case is what retro playing, which is where, or no, I'm sorry, funny playing is where that's where I bought the circuit board and the screen and stuff, and that's what they ship it in. So that your screen doesn't get damaged and everything. It's literally like a small Pelican case. And you can put, I mean, it's foam padded and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to use this. So it would be perfect to ship a Game Boy Pocket in. So,
okay, so for the audio listeners, for what I'm seeing right now, looks like a plastic egg carton type thing, basically.
It looks like a DS case with egg foam inside.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So yeah.
Opened it up, though, and what do we got? The original model that I had, a Game Boy Pocket. Was it Glacier Blue or Ice Blue or something? Does it say on here anywhere?
It's ice blue. No, it doesn't say on there, but I had to find it. It was tough to find.
I'll turn it on. Oh, you guys can't see that at all. There it is.
No, there you go. You just about to see it.
Let's see if it might vaguely. Corey, do you want to describe what I'm trying to portray?
Yeah. So I'll describe. So what Scotty's doing is, what I basically did was I opened up the system, I cleaned it up. It was a little scratchy and stuff like that, so I tried to buff out some stuff. But the screen has been completely replaced with an ISP LCD screen. And
there we go.
Scotty's showing right now, there's a touch sensor that you solder to the top of the system that you touch it, and it cycles through 36 different colors palettes. Wow. And if you hold it, if you hold that, it'll go back, like it'll go to the previous one. You can go back and forth instead of having to cycle through all the colors.
And the
contrast wheel has been refitted as a brightness wheel, so you don't have to worry about the contrast anymore. You can make it brighter or darker. And but no, that's basically it. Funny story with this, I broke the first screen and had to order another one. So
you can actually see it better on camera if I turn. Well, it was for a second.
If you turn it all the way down, it'll show up better on camera.
On a black screen. But so of course, what's weird is like the one that I found the most comfortable was the black and white, which was the Pocket, and I was trying different colors, and I found myself sitting on the green one as well. That looks like the old brick,
Yeah.
It's the 3 shades of piss green or whatever people would say.
I was about to say that's not how you described it to me. You said the piss green, but I don't know. That green looks really good, and I was really happy with it because I'll tell you right now, I've been modding. So that was my first Game Boy Pocket I modded, and I liked it. I've modded a couple Game Boy SPs. I'm currently modding a Game Boy. They call it DMG. That's the OG Game Boy, like the original Game Boy. I have one, and then I'm also later down the road, because it's a little bit more expensive, but I'm modding a Game Gear. But the Game Gear is ridiculously hard to mod. There's about 20 to 30 different soldering points that you have to solder and make sure that they're soldered in order. So that's something I am going to want to do, but it's going to come at a later date. And but no, what's funny is, and I won't take up much more of Scotty's time, but when you go to mod a new like Game Boy or Game Boy Pocket, you usually buy a new shell to go with it. And the shells are already cut out specifically how the screen needs to lay into it. There's the 007 game right there.
Yeah, I found it.
And but Scotty, I didn't want to lose the original color because that was the whole point of getting that one for Scotty. So I had to go in and actually shave down with files certain areas in the Game Boy chassis and get it to where the screen would fit, which is why my first screen that I had on there, I broke because I adhered it and then it wasn't straight. And when I went to pull it off, the screen fell apart. So I had to order another one. But luckily, it's the motherboard that's expensive, not the screens themselves. So I got lucky on that one.
So
I really like it.
How me tapping this thing changes the color. Did you already say that?
Yeah, so there's a little thing that you tape. So if you were to look at an X-ray of the system, at the very top, there's a little touch sensor. It's a little piece of metal that is like taped to the top of it on the inside, and then that has a wire that's soldered to it. That's soldered to the board. That's an actual touch sensor.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, for those that don't know, I've been watching Where if you're looking at the Game Boy, the top right. When you said the top right of the screen, I kept like tapping the screen. I'm like, nothing's happening. What's he talking about?
Yeah, sorry. I tried to explain it, but it was tough.
Yeah, the physical top of the console itself. Like if you're holding it on the outside, it's the border, if anything.
So can you angle it so we can see that top bit? Can you just on the camera?
Well, yeah, it doesn't look different because it's on the inside.
Yeah, that's the curious thing, because where you just held it just then, I was like, I can't actually see anything. So yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It's just on the inside. Which theoretically, you could put that touch sensor anywhere, but the top right on top of the system is the most ideal space.
It's hard to get this at an angle where the camera picks up the screen and the color at the same time.
Yeah, but that's fine because this is an audio podcast, so
yeah, it doesn't matter regardless. But you can see it's going through the different.
It is working. It is. I can see it on the camera. It's fine. Yeah, you're doing it.
Oh, I missed it. Yeah.
One side thing about the Game Boy Pocket that I think, if my memory serves me correctly, I remember getting slightly mad at Nintendo for this. That I'm sure they had the Game Boy original for years and years and years. They released the Game Boy Pocket and everyone was like, oh my God, this is cool. It's nice and smooth and smaller and battery life's even better and stuff. And then I swear to God, like 6 months later, they released the color version.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. Basically, my friend bought the Pocket version. He's like, this is amazing. I've got the Pocket version. He had the original Game Boy as well. He had the Pocket version. And then the color version came out and he was just like, fuck this. And then he went and bought the color version as well. So he had all the versions.
And for those that have never seen them, maybe they're watching now. What's up? I covered it up. What's their name?
Hello, Sensei. Hey.
So the Pocket's a significant difference in size. The biggest thing being the girth. But then if you bring up the color, it's only slightly bigger than the Pocket, but it's still significantly smaller than the Brick.
Yeah.
So
well, what's good is all those none of those had their screen sizes suffered. But the biggest thing from the Game Boy OG was, again, like Scotty said, the girth and the batteries. It went from 4 AA's to the Game Boy Pocket uses 2 AA's. And then the Game Boy Color goes back to 2 AA's. And that's the thing. I sent Scotty too. I sent him a package of rechargeable batteries because I didn't have time, or I didn't have a confident ability to install the rechargeable USB-C mod, because you can also put those on there. I was like, I'll just send them some rechargeable batteries.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm actually all for using AAs and AAA batteries at the moment for some reason. I know, like,
I have tons of rechargeable ones.
Yeah, I use rechargeable ones. Because I've got some devices now which have the lithium batteries which you charge up, and they're all starting to die now. And I'm like, fuck! I've got other stuff which I use AAs on. I'm like, this stuff still works. Like, I'm really happy about that.
So I just got a bunch of flashlights, so we have AAA batteries now in the house as well. Hey, Antichrist, what's happening?
Hey, Antichrist, thanks.
I'll show this off a little bit. This is the current Game Boy DMG that I'm working on. This is a new shell that I bought and new buttons that I bought, but I'm in the process. The board that they sent me, so the contrast wheel on this mod, it actually toggles through like the touch screen or the touch sensor that Scotty has. It toggles through the different colors, but the minute I installed it, it snapped off. So I was like, so I resoldered it and I reached out to customer service. I was like, hey, your product broke. So they're in the process of sending me that one. This one too, this has it set up to where you can do the rechargeable USB-C mod. So it has a port on the back, but I just haven't installed it yet.
Okay.
Interesting.
But no, the new screen looks great on this one too. So I don't have a game in there right now, but anyway, sorry to shill my stuff. So
the last thing I mentioned about the Game Boys though, that's my Game Gear I sent to Corey. Yeah, busted screen.
The screen's busted real hard.
He's gonna mess around with it. Yeah. I mentioned it forever ago because I got like for $30 at a half price books. And
that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad for a Game Gear because they're going up in price for some reason. But so now that I have this Pocket, the only model of Game Boy I don't have is a GBA. So maybe I'll see what Game Tracks is doing.
He's doing more giveaways. Just get in there and toss him $5 to get a raffle ticket.
I mean, it'd be purely for a collectible standpoint because I have an SP. I don't need a GBA.
The good thing is you can set it up with ska colors if you wanted to, because he lets you pick your color scheme.
Thanks. Great. Thank goodness.
Anti-Chris says he's got 4 for you to mod, Corey.
Chris just got his Christmas present, which was a modded Game Boy SP. I'll show this one off. Sorry, I bet
Oh dear.
I don't ever
Or 4 Game Gears.
Oh no, he means he's got 4 Game Gears for you to mod.
Oh well, you better send me money on those because those aren't cheap to do. But this is what I sent Chris for the SP. I have one of myself.
Nice.
This is a Game Boy SP with a,
like a Super Nintendo.
Super Famicom. Yeah, Super Famicom mod.
Oh.
So it's really nice.
I was gonna get my Game Gear, which is red. It's a recapped Game Gear, but it's in the closet, so we won't worry about that. Anyway,
sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know Corey was going to be on. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about this as much as I am. But the package that he put everything in, as soon as you open it up, it was "Merry Christmas to Filthy Animal" from what's it called, Dirty Angels or something in the Home Alone, movie.
Yeah,
Angels with Filthy Souls, I think. Because in the second one it's Filthier Souls. So we open up because he got me and Rachel. We got the Matt Smith Chronicles of Doctor Who, whatever you want to call them.
chronicling stuff now instead of doing seasons, which is weird. So
Well, it's the Matt Smith. It was the Matt Smith, but it wouldn't make sense to call them the seasons because like Chris, what's his name, was 2 years of it, I think, or something, and then
Chris Eccleston.
David Tennant was like 3 seasons worth, and I think that was when they decided, okay, each Doctor is 3 seasons or whatever. So
Chris Eccleston got screwed over a little bit, but I won't go into that. So
well, he was happy to leave when he did, from what I understand. So
I really liked him as the Doctor.
Working on it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I really liked his energy and his character.
Yeah, I thought he was a really good Doctor, but he did not enjoy making the show at the time.
I forgot we have a guy from the motherland right here that I can talk Doctor Who with. So.
My brother is a massive fan of Doctor Who, so I hear this.
I stopped watching Doctor Who right when the transition was about to happen from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I know about Peter Capaldi is his character, or he acted as a character in the Pompeii episode. That's all I know about him.
That happens so often, and
often in Doctor Who.
Rachel brought it up to me, like the BBC basically hires like 20 people and they just cycle through.
They have 8 actors that they cycle through.
Martha before spoilers for a 10-year-old episode.
I think it'll be fine.
Martha, who was the companion eventually, she died in a previous episode. As a side character. The Peter Capaldi.
So now that we're on it, and I don't want to tangent too much because I don't want to go over overstep my boundaries, but I have to say, since we can say it real quick, who is your favorite companion right now? Because I have a controversial stance on mine. People think I'm stupid. So, but I'll let Scotty go first. Like, so far, who is your favorite companion to the Doctor?
I don't know.
Because you only have Martha, Rose, just Martha and Rose, right?
And the temp. Can't remember her name.
I don't remember her name.
It went Rose and then Martha, and then the first episode of her.
Oh, Donna.
Donna Noble.
Donna. Yeah. Donna, I like Donna. She's sassy, but
Donna was sassy. Yeah. I liked Martha the least because she really just didn't feel like she had much going on.
Right. Yeah.
I just didn't feel like she didn't feel as strong as the.
You're about to get to a really good companion duo.
Yeah, and Amy is good, but I also feel like she was rushed. But I don't know, she's fun, but the logistics of her standard wardrobe being a skirt bothers me because it makes as much sense as like Jill Valentine wearing a skirt in Resident Evil 3. Like that's not battle ready attire. You can't run around comfortably in a skirt and heels like you should with like pants or something.
You don't know.
I don't. What do I know? I don't know. I guess Donna, if anyone, because she was just because Donna, you could. And maybe it's just me noticing this now. I feel like there were a lot more scenes where they were separate from each other, where Donna could hold her own, and it didn't have to have the Doctor in that scene too.
I'm gonna be honest. Before this conversation, I forgot about Donna.
But it's Rose is arguably the strongest, and she has an arc that we definitely cannot talk about. But because that was spoilers for anybody. Despite the fact that I saw it coming, but that's what I do. I ruin things. Yeah, I guess Donna. She was fun.
All right. Graham, I'll let you go next.
Oh god. I'd forgotten about Donna. And
totally forgot about Donna.
I really didn't like Catherine Tate, who plays Donna, until I saw it in Doctor Who, and then I suddenly loved her. And then she was in the American Office. I was like, I love her even more now.
Yeah.
So she had some really good episodes, like some standout episodes I really loved. So
yeah,
maybe her. I do love Amy Pond though as well. I just like Karen.
The arc between Amy and Rory and the Doctor is phenomenal. It's very, very good. No spoilers to Scotty yet, but it's very, very good.
We just watched the second Weeping Angels episode, which, man, the first one's so much better than the second one.
Which one has the guy? Which one has Mormont from Game of Thrones in it? Is the first episode or the second episode?
Haven't seen a lick of Game of Thrones. So
which one of the Weeping Angels episodes has military guys in it?
The second one.
He's in the second one then. He's the guy that says, I hope I'm remembered as a good man," or something like that.
Yeah. I will say it's funny. I feel like actually what was a detriment to the second Weeping Angels episode was a higher budget. Because
I like the lower budget stuff.
Yeah, I will not say, and the first Weeping Angels episode.
There he is.
Scotty, you just froze. Sorry.
Yeah,
he got back up though.
The Twitch on my end is cycling through. But no, what I was going to say is the first Weeping Angels episode was actually what got Rachel into Doctor Who. That was the first episode she saw, and then she watched Matt Smith, and then she went back and watched stuff. But but no, Weeping Angels, they're definitely my favorite enemy or whatever you would call them. We might have watched one more after that, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we're making our way through.
Yep.
I was just going to say, I agree with you on that Weeping Angels thing, partly because I think with the lower budget one, like every time they turned around, they were just doing that, but later on you saw them doing different faces, and it was just that the fact that they're doing that was the scary thing about them. I found it was just creepy, eerie. They've moved, but they look exactly the same, and it's like, shit.
The scariest thing will always be the unknown, no matter what you're dealing with, what you're introducing to an audience. So I think that's why that was. And I really can't say much more about that. But
I'm going to say the biggest freaking twist, and I believe we've all seen this, is the twist with the face of Bo. And I was just like, what? I did not see that coming whatsoever.
Yeah, we shouldn't say anything else about that.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say, what? That's all I'm going to say. No, I get crap from my friends because I think Rose is a very, very good companion, and I also think she's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. So I saw her first, I was just like, I'm a sucker for blondes too, like, and she's like the only blonde companion, and I really liked her. My one friend's like, "No, you're stupid. Amy Pond is the best," and I'm just like, whatever.
I think Rose is great. Yeah, she's definitely one of my top ones. Wow. Did you?
I just want to watch Doctor Who, though.
Did you know that she was a pop star before all of that? Like she has a Billboard charts and stuff.
Yeah, are you talking to me or to Corey? Because
either. She was a singer.
I grew up with Billie Piper back in the UK, obviously, and she married a guy called Chris Evans, not Captain America Chris Evans. There's a TV and radio personality over here who has ginger hair called Chris Evans, and they got married and they got divorced. But I grew up with all that stuff. So,
I really like her, and she. The lady Haley Atwell, she plays Agent Carter in the Marvel stuff, and I feel like they look a lot alike a little bit. So maybe I just have a type. So
So I'm sorry, this is going off on a tangent. Sorry, Scotty. Sorry, everybody. But yes, I agree with you on that. Because the first time I saw the Captain America trailer back years ago, I was like, "Is that Billie Piper?" And it turned out to be Haley Atwell. I've got a friend of mine. She absolutely loves Marvel movies. She loves all the superhero movies and stuff. She refuses to watch the Captain America movies because of Haley Atwell. Because when she was younger, she went to an acting school very briefly. Haley Atwell was there with her, and she was a massive bitch to the point that my friend punched her in the back.
Wow, that's an awesome story.
She just hates her like so much. Wow. She's just like, I refuse to watch. She's like, but the Captain America movies are so good. They're some of my favorite Marvel movies. But she refuses to watch them.
I mean, you would hope that she maybe grew out of that, but at the same time,
But yeah,
Who knows?
it's just
I'm a
old rivalry.
sucker. I'm a sucker for good like war movies and Captain America. The first Captain America. Hallie, my wife, last year, she went through the Marvel movies and watched them in the order they're supposed to be in. And I did not sit through all of them. I popped in on a few. I had never seen the first Captain America. I really like that movie. That movie's really
That's
good.
my
Also,
favorite one.
Nazis are the best enemy. They just are. Like that's how it is. That's how it'll always
Love
be.
to hate 'em.
They're great. I love it. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to tangent off. I'm welcome to me being on your podcast. So
I mean, we can circle it all the way back because in the MCU, Amy Pond is in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nebula. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's the blue bald cyborg chick, which I did not know. Well, I mean, I didn't I guess arguably that was what introduced me to Amy Pond, but I didn't care enough about that character to look into it at all. But then I saw Jumanji, and I saw interviews of Jumanji, the new Jumanji cast, and people were saying like they liked her in Guardians. I'm like, who the fuck was she in Guardians? And I was like, whoa.
Well, the big thing was she shaved her head for that role.
Yes,
too.
I was about to say, yeah.
Well, and she's not Scottish.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Wait, did you say she's not Scottish?
I mean, she doesn't have the accent in the Guardians movies.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's just like, what? She's not.
Yes, I know. She's born in Scotland. So. Yeah. Because that was a really big reveal.
Actually,
she took off that. Oh, sorry.
Speaking of that, her first episode, Amy Pond's first episode, if you guys remember how the doctor came back and they're running around her town and they're never in a car because the town is that small. I said to Rachel, I'm like, no wonder Graham is blown away by how far things are apart in our stupid country. Because this town, you can run from one end to the other in 20 minutes.
Well, no, that's also like you go to, England, or not England, but you go to Europe and it's just like, oh, I went through 15 countries in the last 4 hours. Like, that's just how taking a train ride is.
Yeah.
Meantime, that doesn't even get you all the way across Texas in America.
Right. Yeah. I told Graham there was one episode where we were talking about an episode of the podcast. We were talking about how far Chris is, or no, Philly or something, and then a town in West Virginia.
And there was one in Taylor Swift's family farm, where they grow Christmas trees. Yes, that was it.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, well, fun fact.
That's such a Taylor Swift stupid thing.
Yep. I said to Graham, I was like, this is how illogical. I mean, this is just to continue to blow your mind how gigantic the U.S. is. Like that town or that farm in West Virginia, I could drive to in 45 minutes, but the one on the other side of PA, I wouldn't even make it there in 5 hours.
Yeah. Well, I think it was when we were doing the marathon in 2019. I was just like, "Oh yeah, Scotty, you're close to Philly, right?" He's like, "No." I was like, "He's like, where do you think I live?" And I'm like, "It's all just like the same shit up there, right?"
Yeah, same town, different name.
Man.
Anyway, I was talking about the box Corey sent us stuff in.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
I actually had one more Doctor Who fact for Corey, but
yeah, go for it. Finish it off.
Peter Capaldi, going back to him. So he was in another episode of Doctor Who. He is also. Did you ever see the TV show Torchwood, which is a Doctor Who spin-off, and it's in the same universe. It's a spin-off
with the guy that is the fancy guy. I can't remember his name, but he's very
John Barrowman's the actor. I've just forgot his actual name in the show. That's not good.
I always forget Captain Jack.
Captain Jack Harkness. Yeah, that's it.
Jack Sparrow.
Very sexy.
Yes, sexy guy. Sexy Canadian. Is he Canadian or something? I don't know. Anyway,
probably they got beautiful people up there. So.
He's horny.
But yeah, Peter Capaldi was in an episode of that, and his character dies in that episode. Spoiler alert! It's an old show now. It doesn't matter. But yeah, and then suddenly he's in Doctor Who, even though that's all set in the same universe.
That's the thing. It's not the same characters. It's just the same actors. That's
same act. Yeah, so it is a different character. So yeah, you can get away with it. But it's just if anyone just dips in and out, it's like, saw that guy die the other week. What's going on?
I will say there's not many TV shows that have episodes that make me cry every time. And I know that they're coming, but Doctor Who and Scrubs and surprisingly Futurama, those are three go-to shows that have 2 to 3 episodes that when it starts, I'm like, all right, here we go. It's going to happen.
Strap in.
We just started rewatching, or I just started rewatching Scrubs, and it's the second or third episode. I'm just like, crap. And it's not like I'm a baby, which I probably am kind of like a baby, but it's just like, it's the emotion, especially in the medical field, the emotion of what those people are going. I know they're actors, but I know that shit like that happens every day. And I'm just like, people having to go through that. So that gets me. Chat says the dog in Futurama. Yes, until the first movie came out, which So I got a rant. I'll make it a quick rant. But I love the first movie, which is called Bender's Big Score. And the whole thing is Seymour Asses is the dog episode where you find out that Seymour was waiting for years for Fry to come back and all that. The movie nullifies all of that. It nullifies all the sadness from that episode. That's all I'll say. Go watch Bender's Big Score and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
It's been a while since I've seen that one. I can't remember that the Big Score one.
I just watched it 2 days ago because we're marathoning all of Futurama.
Jeez.
Anyway, sorry, Scotty.
Sorry, Scotty. Yes, sorry.
That's okay. Well, I mean, Rachel always cries when Donna Noble's grandpa is involved, usually, because he's
bless him. What a guy.
He's an old man. I was going to say he's an old man that believes in aliens, but he's the nicest old man in the whole show.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
So this box that Corey sent us stuff in, it started with Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, and filthy animal. And then when we got down to the bottom, opened everything up, taped to the bottom of it, and a Happy New Year.
Oh, that's great.
I feel bad because Antichrist is in the chat, but I did his present the same exact way, so now it's no longer unique.
That's a lovely touch.
For those that can't see, it's the again, filthy angels or whatever, angels with filthy souls from Home Alone, the fake movie. It's
Get
him
down on your knees
saying
and tell
Happy
me
New
you
Year.
love me.
And then the last thing I will mention is the card that Rachel got me, which is a Christmas card, but it's for my birthday. I shared this on Instagram and socials and stuff, but it is a Christmas Nights card. It's Christmas Nights in the Dreams card. And, you know, she wrote a bunch of stuff, but so it's by the artist oh shit. Let me get her
contact. Don't fuck it up. I mean, don't mess it up. I don't know how cursing goes on this podcast.
She has an Etsy store, Veruko Art, VERUKOART. Even the back of it has like her logo's like a little weird Riala thing.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So it's very cool. To describe it to the listeners, it's Christmas Nights, and they are looking rather feminine, which made me slightly uncomfortable because it's I don't know. But
what was the artist's name again?
Veruko, VERUKO Art.
I'm gonna put it in our Discord.
Yeah, if you do Instagram, they don't post much, but their Etsy store is where you probably want to go. Okay. So, but the front of the card, to describe it, it has Christmas Nights in the middle with two gifts. One of the gifts is a Jack-in-a-Box with Riala's face popping out, and then at their feet is one of those strawberry cakes, and the Nighttopians are making gingerbread cookies and eating stuff. And oh no, I just noticed that one's using a rolling pin to make more gingerbread cookies and stuff. But despite the fact that it's a Christmas card, Christmas Nights is one of my favorite things, so that's why it's a birthday card, really.
You're the cool reason that I'm starting to like looking forward to the Christmas Night stuff every year.
There you go. Yeah, future speedrunner right here, right? And so I said all of this, and I thought it was going to take 5 minutes because now I wanted to get to the beef of what I've been up to.
Oh God! Oh God!
I was only going to mention this briefly because we didn't know Corey was going to be on until about 24 hours ago. But it'll help tailor into is not a verb. It'll help trail into Corey's week probably. Scott Pilgrim, the versus the World, the game complete edition was the complete edition was released, which is the re-release of the Scott Pilgrim video game based off the graphic novel and the movie. Came out on Thursday. We streamed that, and it was a goddamn dumpster fire. Like, I was hoping, like, you know, it was my birthday stream. It was not my birthday stream, but it was my birthday, and we were streaming. And then we were playing the game, and I thought, you know, I had actually gotten the Game Boy Pocket, so I thought, oh, I'll talk about that and, you know, compliment Corey's handiwork, and we'll talk about other shit I got for my birthday mainly because it's all about me. And we just have cool conversations playing with our buddies, Scott Pilgrim. We finished one level in that game in the 2 hours that we played. The network was so bad. Wow. The desyncing was so bad. Like, we started, you can do this. Looking back, Corey, watching the stream, our team up special attack should have been the first red flag because that like foreshadowed the rest.
Yeah.
Of the so if you're playing, so in the game, I guess if you don't know what Scott Pilgrim is, where have you been? Shopping at Goodwill.
Beat 'em up.
I guess. Yeah, I'm kidding. But the Scott Pilgrim by Brian Lee O'Malley is a story about a guy who's dating a girl, falls in love with another girl, and it's an homage to all of video games and nerddom and things like that. And he has to fight 7 evil exes of the current girl he's into, and hilarity ensues. So the movie's fun, not for everybody, but it's a fun movie. And the game itself is a brawler where you play as Scott and his other 2 bandmates. Scott plays bass in a band called the Sex Bombs. And so you play as Ramona, Steven Stills, the guitarist, Scott, and their drummer, Kim Pine. And so when you all do a taunt together, you do a special move, which is them jamming out, and then this giant, like, abominable snowman thing's in the background. It basically kills everything on the screen or does a bunch of damage.
Makes sense if you read the comics. So
yes. So we thought first, like, all right, we're finally playing together online, because we did try to play this game forever with Parsec. I don't think we ever got the team attack maybe working once, but
but we it was solid. Like, the emulation of the PS3 version was really good, but we were just like, yeah, we got to support this release and all that. But
yeah, so we played it. First thing we did in the game, there were no enemies on screen, but we're like, let's test out the team attack. We did it, and like, what's supposed to happen is you all jam out, and in the background is this snowman like chomping the ground and like attacking the enemies. So we did the team attack, and we all jammed out and played. No abominable snowman, and then we're like, what? And like a solid 20 seconds later, suddenly the snowman appears in the background, and I was like, what? I had forgotten that was even part of the special attack.
Well, because I was like, I guess they took that out, or I just was remembering it wrong. And then it showed up. I was like, no, there it is.
Oh my God.
And it was just so. And so the overall problem was, it wasn't that the network was bad. It was the desyncing. And because we were online and able to play, and it was moving okay. I did have trouble dashing a lot of times, so I think there was stuttering with the controls here and there. But like, it got to the point where like 3 of us would be off trying to progress, and then you see one character like punching and blocking nothing because there's no more enemies on our screen,
or in a dog pile that never finished.
Yeah, but in their game, when they're fighting and blocking nothing, they've actually been fighting like 5 or 6 enemies that we don't even see. And so, and there were times where like characters and like progression type stuff would not happen. Like if there was an enemy that's supposed to pop out of a door and then you follow him into the next scene, he never popped out of the door. So we couldn't progress in the game.
It was game breaking at some point.
Network issues and stuff. It was bad. It was, I mean, granted, I don't play a lot of games online with people. It was the worst I've ever seen a network game.
Yeah, but I do have an update. Horrific. I have an update to this, and I guess that's going to segue into me. But I have an update. I was watching a fellow streamer friend stream it last night. We were playing on the PS4 on launch day. So we were like, maybe it's launch day or something like that. I was talking to him last night, and I was like, look, this is what happened to us. Be prepared that might happen. But he was playing on Switch. The entire time I watched him, none of that happened.
Yeah.
No problems whatsoever. So I would really like to try it again. Also, we had people all over the United States playing with this. We had a guy on the West Coast. Yeah, East and West Coast, and then I'm in Middle America. So we were testing the limits. But I'm curious. I would like to try it again. To see on the PS4. And if anything, worst comes to worst, we could go to PC or the Switch, apparently.
Yeah. That was the thing, too, is my buddy Alex and also your buddy Alex were both playing on PS5s. So we thought, like, even though it doesn't really make sense that would affect it because it is still
like, cut out the variables.
Yeah. So we all they downgraded to PS4, and it was just like each one of us tried hosting, and it was just all over the place. It was bad. Which unfortunately, I mean, it was still entertaining. There were things that were happening that should not, like jumping in the sky and landing on no platform.
Lots of good clips
there. Yeah. I clipped one part where Ramona, when Corey's buddy was playing as Ramona and just not like going properly where we needed to. And at one point, a public transit bus drives through the middle of the screen. Ramona's just standing in the middle. I'm like, bus. And she just gets hit and like gets juggled by this thing to the point that she gets knocked out. And you can pick up your buddies when they're unconscious. You have 10 seconds, but she was like knocked out. But it was hilarious because she got knocked out and just her head was appearing out from underneath the bus. So it's just,
if you'd like to see that, jump in our Discord because we have it in there. So.
That's what that picture was. I saw that in the Discord. I was like, what am I looking at right now? And now I know.
Yeah.
And I
wow.
think we've decided that the game has a Stockholm syndrome on me and Scotty is what it is. It's just like we love the game. It's the thing where you love everything about the game, but the gameplay can be a little rough, especially in the early stages. But after that, it's fine. Like the aesthetics and the music and the homages to everything, like because Scotty said it's like the game is referenced off the movie a little bit, but it's more referenced off the comics, if anything. So but I will also say that I gave Limited Run probably $300 of my dollars just for my Scott Pilgrim stuff.
I talked about it last week. We don't need to talk about the whole collector's edition because I mentioned that whole thing last week.
Right. I gave Limited Run probably $550 this week because I bought the KO edition. Scotty was like, I'm getting the pins. I was like, I don't want him to be the only one getting the pins. So I bought the pins. I accidentally bought 2 hoodies. So I forgot I had bought a hoodie, but then I forgot there was another hoodie in my basket when I went to go buy it when the KO edition was able to be purchased. And then I picked up the Panzer Paladin complete edition. I picked up the Panzer Paladin vinyl, and I picked up the Fight and Rage Switch and OST combo. So that's all that went onto my PayPal credit, and I have 6 months to pay it off. So,
and then the other vinyl, which this is where you convince yourself it's okay.
Yeah.
So prophetic chiptunes pop punk artist Anamanaguchi did the soundtrack to Scott Pilgrim, which is actually I feel like that was their big kind of when they started to blow up a little bit. Because that year everybody knew about Scott Pilgrim. You either did or you didn't, and if you did, you fucking knew about Scott Pilgrim. Some friends and I, you've met Anthony, Corey. Well, you both kind of did last year through the marathon. Oh no, he was here physically too. Anyway, he was part of my group of friends who we cosplayed as the Scott Pilgrim crew one year at PAX East as well. Surprise, I was Scott. So like the insanity around this thing, Anamanaguchi, they're a great chiptunes band. They did the soundtrack to this game, and the soundtrack was released on vinyl for only Record Store Day. And so you can't find like that edition for less than $80 now. Cause I've looked, I almost bought it a couple months ago. I was like talking to my buddy Alex. I'm like, I don't need this. Right. He's like, no. And so, but then when the Scott Pilgrim KO and crazy physical editions were announced, and in the KO version, you get the CD and the cassette of that soundtrack. Then Anamanaguchi was hinting stuff, and as you mentioned on the first podcast, Corey, you said I went into conspiracy mode. I'm like, I think they're gonna redo the vinyl, guys. And
I agreed with you too.
Yeah, they did that. They're re-releasing the vinyl, and it also comes with a 7-inch that has a couple unreleased tracks. But Limited Run is really cool, and all the profit from the vinyl goes straight to Anamanaguchi, which is great because, long story short, everybody that's part of the Scott Pilgrim game has been getting death threats since it was delisted, basically. But no more. But probably the most is Anamanaguchi because people thought that their soundtrack was preventing the game from getting re-released, and I'm like, until
complete
they
opposite, actually.
Like they continue, kind of like Graham, how we tell people the first couple issues of Megavisions are never getting a physical release. That's how often Anamanaguchi would have to say, no, we didn't. We don't even own the rights to the music that we wrote because it's a soundtrack for a video game owned by another company. So like we can't even, like, they could play the songs if they wanted to. They could perform the songs, I should say, but they had no way of distributing that again. So the fact that not only is this music getting out there again on a vinyl, but the fact that they are getting actual money from it is really, really cool. And just like it's kind of one victory after another with this game getting a physical release. Honestly,
it's probably the biggest physical release that Limited Run has probably done. Like the most requested, most wanted, and they did not. Like they have the regular base edition, they have it's classic edition, then they have, I don't know what the next edition's called, but I think it's like $55, and then there's the KO edition, and then just the pins. It's they went all out is what it did, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy with it. So
I think it's the first game to include a strategy guide of theirs, but don't quote me on that.
They're starting to do that more. I've been seeing other things that are coming out that have strategy guides now too.
Oh, okay. And what I was gonna say is, like, if nobody gives a shit about Scott Pilgrim, that's fine. totally cool. I can only equate this really to like if PT suddenly got a physical release and like was brought back onto the store, because
and
it really
had a comic and a movie that went with it.
Yeah, it really is one of those things you don't realize how much you give a crap about it until it's gone. Because when Scott Pilgrim was delisted, it was also at that time that people learned, oh, it has online multiplayer. Like, it didn't launch with that. That's a whole other discussion.
It had an update that was not advertised well.
Yeah, so it's crazy and it's cool because it's a victory in a lot of different areas. And the last thing I'll mention about Limited Run and how cool they are is they are. Just because Corey mentioned everything, I'm getting the KO edition on PS4. My friend Sarah bought me the Switch version of Scott Pilgrim, the regular, for my birthday. I'm getting the pins. I already have that vinyl pre-ordered. I'm psychotic. I'm taking a break from Limited Run for a little bit right after next week, because they just announced that they're putting out Ground Zero Texas from the Sega CD and re-releasing fucking Night Trap again
with some kind of cassette thing, like video cassette thing,
a Blu-ray movie and a CD of the soundtrack. But they're doing repros of Sega CD stuff essentially. So they're doing those. So Graham, that might even be something you're interested in.
Might have to, might check that one out actually. Yeah.
We posted it on the site recently, so go check that out as well. Megavisionsmag.com.
Wait,
believe it or not, that's my week, and half the reason we're in so long.
That's all you've done.
So don't get mad at me.
I mean, that was half of my week too. The only other thing I wanted to bring up for my week was that I finally got my copy of Lupin the Third, the first in, which is the new CG animated Lupin the Third movie. You've probably seen GIFs of this or like clips of this on Twitter, and people are like, "Holy crap, this is amazing!" I forgot I ordered this. I completely forgot that I ordered this Steelbook Blu-ray DVD combo edition. I haven't watched it yet because I've been so busy this week, but it's very nice. It came with like these personalized postcards of each character. I haven't opened them up yet. It comes with a little book that explains like what the story is and all that stuff. It basically came with a strategy guide for a movie, which is kind of cool. And but no, it only cost me $35, and it was from G Kids is who's distributing this. So I've been seeing a lot of really cool stuff about this movie, and I'm excited to watch it. The CG, I was very skeptical because I'm a very big, especially for people that don't know, Lupin the Third is probably one of the longest running anime series in Japan. Like, it literally has like, I think it started back in like maybe late 70s, early 80s, and they have some kind of like yearly Christmas special or something that comes out for Lupin the Third like all the time. There's a lot of people that in America knows about Lupin the Third because of Adult Swim, because Lupin the Third was on Adult Swim growing up. And I love it. I love the characters. I love Zenigata, which is the police officer, is probably one of my favorite characters. He's hilarious, and I'm excited to watch this. And I'll be giving an update on this on the next, not this week's episode of Scrubverse, but next week's episode of Scrubverse. So
wow.
And Lupin the Third, a sleazier, clumsier James Bond.
Yeah. He basically is. Like, I love him. Like, every time I see him, he's a lovable thief is what he is. Yeah. And looking at my notes here, I'm not going to go too far into it because this is more of a discussion that I could talk about forever on my podcast. But I did play the Monster Hunter Rise demo. I'm very happy with it. It's very, very nice. I got some clips from my stream that night. I played with a Solid Yuna and my another Discord user, Zombie Hunter. We played together on the Switch. If you have a Switch and you have any kind of interest in this game, I know Scotty's not really into like the hunting style games, so he might not really like it that much.
I gave him a shot.
It's a free demo. You get each mission. It comes with 2 missions. There's an intermediate mission, and then there's a easier mission with one's a harder monster, the other one's a little bit easier. You get 30 tries on both of them, but you get to play it. You got to lay out. You can choose of all the 15 weapons. You can choose what you want to play as, and it's really fun. It has a dog that you can ride and pet, so maybe Scotty will play it. So this dog, so you can ride the dog and it makes you go faster and you can do stuff while you're on the dog. I don't know why they thought to do this, but if you hold the left trigger of the Wii, I'm using the Wii U Pro controller, I'm not the Wii U Pro controller, the Switch Pro controller. For some reason, you can drift around a corner and your dog just does drifting, like initial D-style drifting. And then once you let go of the trigger, he blasts off in speed in that direction. I don't know why they decided to put that in there, but I absolutely love it.
That's
fantastic.
I'll do a cover of the song for you. Everybody super doggo drifting.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. But it's great. It's really fun. That game releases on March 26th, and I'm so ready for it.
Wow.
There's a Twitter account called Can You Pet the Dog, and it's you can pet the dog in Silent Hill. You can pet the you can't pet the dog in every different type of game. So they should just do a side account. Can you drift with the dog in?
Well, they did do You Can Pet the Dog in Monster Hunter Rise. I wish they would have said, and you can also ride it and drift on it.
Yeah,
so that's crazy. No, I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. So that's all I got from you.
Awesome. Corey's been with the Monster Hunter games since the good old fishhook controller days.
Number one, I've been with Monster Hunter since Monster Hunter 1 on the PlayStation 2 with my network adapter for my PlayStation 2.
For some reason, I thought the original Monster Hunter was on PSP.
A lot of people think that, but it was Monster Hunter 1 was on PlayStation 2. Monster Hunter 2 never made it to America, but it was also on PlayStation 2. And then the next iteration, which was Freedom and Unite and all that, those were PSP. There was a lot. Once it went to PSP, there was about 3 or 4 games that were on the PSP. So that's probably why you remember that. But the very first one, Monster Hunter 1, was released on the PlayStation 2.
Wow. Because the only time, the first time I remember it was on the PSP. This game sounds
and the
great.
Online worked great.
And I hated it so much. The first one on the PSP, I was just like, this is terrible. I just didn't.
Oh, yeah. The PSP, you had to have a claw-like hand system to where it would work.
Yeah. And the loading was awful and stuff.
We were so into it, though. We had the cables. Yeah, we had the cables to connect from the PSP. Yeah.
Fishhook thing.
You had to do claws. It looked like your hand. It looked like you had carpal tunnel syndrome when you were doing it.
I'm gonna fucking.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah, and I lagged out. You like cup your finger on the D-pad while using the stick, and that's the fishhook.
It was pretty rough, but we had the cables that you could outsource the PSP to the component cables to a TV. So that's how we played Monster Hunter back then.
Okay, I've actually just gone to Wikipedia to see what you were talking about. So yeah. Okay, I kind of understand it. The original game was remade and expanded as Monster Hunter G in Japan, but in that version was brought to North America and Europe as Monster Hunter Freedom for PlayStation Portable. Okay, that makes sense. Wow.
Yes. Monster Hunter's been around a lot longer than people have. I believe the first one came out, early 2000s? I want to say 2002?
Ooh, 2004 apparently.
2004 was my second guess. So yeah, 2004, I played it. I remember playing it before I graduated high school, so I must have played it I graduated high school in 2007, so I probably picked it up around 2005 is when I started playing it, and I've played every iteration of it. I played the Japan only online version, the PC version, which is Monster Hunter Frontier. And you could only play that if you had you had to have a VPN back then to mask your ISP to make it look like you were in Japan to be able to play that game.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't, it would just automatically kick you out and you wouldn't be able to play the game. I got in it and then I couldn't understand anything because I don't read Japanese. So, but no, I'm a big Monster
Good
fan.
effort.
But I do. You do a lot of stuff when you're bored and you don't have a lot of money. So you just try to play games. But that's it for me.
Other than what items do and what certain weapons abilities are, that you don't need to know what you're reading in that game so much.
Menu, like, because in Frontier there was different menu like boards you could go to, like this is the gathering board and this is how you party up with other people, and it was a lot more in depth than you would think it was.
Oops, sorry, I was muted because I was trying to type. Yeah, it's probably more fun with people and when you know what you're doing. I played Freedom Wars a decent amount on the Vita, which I
picked it up, but I didn't like it.
We nicknamed that Fashion Wars because all of us spent more time customizing our character than we did actually playing the game.
I mean, that game felt like Monster Hunter and Attack on Titan had a baby before Attack on Titan was even a thing.
Oh wow, I forgot about that game. I bought that game and then I introduced it to Brett, who is Smash Villain in our Discord, and he hates the anime Attack on Titan, but he loves that game. And he straight up finished the game before. I still haven't finished that game because I just fell out of it real hard.
Yeah, I fell out of it.
It's a fun, weird, speedy Spider-Man thing. But
I mean, going back to Monster Hunter, we made translation binders. we would find websites that had translated the items from Japan to, because we played the PSP Japanese only versions too before they came out to America. We were that into Monster Hunter, and we had 4 different binders. One was a monster list, like a monster item list. One was a crafting list. One was a weapon list. One was an armor list. We had all that shit, man. So, but yeah, that's it for my week. So we'll let Graham go now.
Wow, I'm gonna try and run through my week quickly because I know we'd be doing.
I'm sorry.
I've enjoyed those. We turned into Doctor Who podcast for a bit, so that was fun.
And that was inevitable. I've been waiting for the long-winded Doctor Who discussion with Graham. So yeah.
Oh, we could have that. Could be an entire series. Like,
let's bring it back. Let's do some more later. Yeah.
Okay.
So my week had an epic fail streaming Halo last night with Chris. So anyone who actually tuned in, I know Scotty did. You saw the terrible setup at the start. I literally spent an hour trying to get it going, and I was talking to Corey as well in Discord. Like, it doesn't work. It's basically we were playing through the Xbox app on PC, and it turns out when you have like Discord running and slobs trying to go live on Twitch and stuff, and then try to run the Xbox app, the audio just disappears. Like, but it doesn't disappear from Twitch, so it actually still goes live on Twitch and records it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear Chris talking. I couldn't hear the game at all. And I was just like, what is going on? Something's not right here. And it seemed to be like when you load up the game, it's in the menu screen, you can hear all the music and like hear it to Chris. And then as soon as you hit go on the game, it's like no sound from my PC at all. Like none of my programs are making any noise. And it's like, oh my God. I was like checking my headphones, checking my sound card, like trying to change everything around. And we eventually worked out that it was the freaking Xbox app for some reason. Like, it just doesn't like going out on Twitch.
Sounds about right.
Basically, because Twitch, though, was picking up all the audio from the game and us talking via Discord, what I did was I ended up calling Chris as well at the same time on my phone on Messenger, putting my headphones in. Thanks for the tip, Scotty. So I put my earphones in. So I had like... Basically, I was talking to him. I was talking to him privately on Messenger, but it's picking up on my microphone, and it's picking up on his microphone at his end. So Twitch, it started working well on Twitch. That was, but we spent like well over an hour. It's like
audio issues; they're the best.
I was like 100% guaranteed. When audio works correctly on my stream, I'm amazed.
But I was like, we might as well just be playing on the Switch right now, because you have to play via an app, like talk via an app on the Switch and stuff. Like, even in the Dreamcast days, you could talk through a game. Like, come on, guys, this should not be this hard. And we thought the one other solution I tried was I could, in theory, do it via using a capture device from my Xbox One, which is next to me, through my computer, and that would work. And we sort of set that up. That's how we first initially started going out, when we thought, oh, this works. We've got all the audio working. The game's working. Perfect. Oh, and then we went into the game.
The PC version of it.
So we were. This is the problem. So this is how we... So we tried to do the PC version at first via the Xbox app. None of the audio is working. It's like, right, I'm going to try it via my Xbox, streaming through my capture device, picking it all up and stuff. And we were waiting in the lobby screen. Chris had invited me to a game, waiting in the lobby screen. We went live on Twitch. And then Chris hit go, and it's like, this game cannot crossplay between PC and Xbox. And there's literally like, we'd literally just gone live, and I was like, why is it not working? Chris is like, what's going on? Why are you? I was like, it's just, I don't know, because Chris was hosting it. And he was like, why are you on the Xbox? I was like, dude, I just had a 20-minute conversation with you that I was going to stream via the Xbox instead because the audio wasn't working. And he was like, oh, I must have missed that. Like, for God's sake, man.
So let me ask you, is the only way to play that Master Chief Collection is through the Xbox app on the PC? I thought it was on Steam as well.
So it's on Steam as well. It's also on Xbox. But Chris and I didn't have the Steam version installed, or we don't have it downloaded. Like, we've both got Game Pass, so it's free, and I kind of don't really want to pay again for a game I've got available on Xbox One and PC.
Are you telling me you don't want to buy Halo a fourth time?
Yes, I also do own it on my Xbox original and my Xbox 360, and I don't want to pay for it again. And I had the old PC version as well, the old PC version back when.
This is like,
oh god.
So, I'm going to forget this. Can I mention this real quick, because I think this is where like where I have a feeling you have more to the story, but I want to tap on this specific issue because it is 100% relatable to what I tried to do the first time I tried to use stream before I had a PC set up to stream things through my console. So I was streaming through my PS4 because it has a pretty user-friendly setup. The Xbox One didn't really have as user-friendly of a thing. And this is when they also still had snapping their apps, which was the dumbest thing they thought you could pull off on a console. Like I could see that working on a system. Oh, I think you're muted, Graham.
No, I was mouthing snapping apps. I don't even remember that being a thing.
So what that would let you do theoretically, what it would let you do is you could have the game running and you could snap like your voice chat and just switch over to that real quick or switch over to another game or like or the store. So this is me, which sounds almost similar to your issue. But of course, what do I want to try to stream first on my Xbox One to have fun on the Sega Addicts site that I used to be part of? I want to play Nights into Dreams. So what do I want to do? That's right. Nights into Dreams was released in HD on the 360. So I want to play the 360 version of a Saturn game on my Xbox One, streaming through the Xbox One to the internet, because that's my world.
I went to your Twitch channel recently. That was 5 years ago. You tried streaming that.
I could not do it. It was the worst thing in the world because it would not like every time I would start to go, like it would come up with a friendly like something's wrong, but we'll handle it. Like, tell me what's wrong. I hate your stupid little cute smiley face air bullshit.
Oh my god, yeah.
But like it was such a elaborate issue that was such a particular problem, which sounds like kind of where yours was.
Yeah, and so what we're doing is next week we're planning to do it this Friday, so we're still going to keep streaming. We're playing the campaign on Legendary. We want to play all the Halo games basically, basically. But yeah, we're actually going to play it both via the Xbox One to get rid of it. The reason why we didn't both play via Xbox One this time was because Chris would need to download it on his Xbox One, and it's like a 200 gigabyte download, which takes like 10 hours. Something ridiculous. So we're just like, how is this old game? I know it's actually like 5 or 6 games bit into one, but we were just like, can we not just download the one game that we want to play? Man,
this is also coming off of Battletoads when we tried to. Now, admittedly, Battletoads was our own fault because we didn't simply check to see if it had online play. And so, and then we realized as we turned the game on and tried to all play together, it had no online play. But yours has that's no excuse compared to that. That's completely out of your control as to why it wasn't working.
Yeah, the audio thing was just like, I don't understand. This should just work because there's no reason why the audio shouldn't work. And then it was just like, Microsoft doesn't want you to play cross-platform, even though they're really promoting cross-platform on different devices. So, fuck you guys.
That's such
man.
And meanwhile, and then you think back to like, Portal 2, when it came out on the PS3, you could play online with people on Steam from your PS3. And meanwhile, you're experiencing this problem with like Steam is not a Sony-owned company or vice versa. So it's like, this is a Microsoft game I want to play on my PC.
With the Microsoft-made app. So it's not even like I'm trying to play Steam version with the Xbox. I'm playing the Microsoft app version using the Game Pass, and it syncs. The data syncs between the Xbox One and the PC version as well. So when I turn on my Xbox One, it would like go, I'm syncing now the data I have from your PC version to this one, and then vice versa. I was like,
it's the same crap. When you try to play like Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 9 on the PC, if you don't have mods like I do on them, you have to log into the Square Enix website to be able to launch your game. And I'm like, this is stupid. Yeah.
It's so bad.
Man.
We're getting there, guys.
I have better mods on mine, so the mods that I have installed on those two games circumvents that. It still pulls up a screen for you to launch the game, but that's because you need to pick the things you want to pick for your mod session.
Wow. Okay. All right. Anyway, next time, hopefully it's going to go smoother because I'm going to make sure Chris is downloading it on his Xbox.
I'll be on standby if you need anything.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah,
what's fun? It's the audio thing I suggested to you. Whenever I stream on my not my personal channel because I stream through Megavisions, but when I'm doing my solo streams, I'll have my phone next to me with earbuds in, and then I'll pop an earbud in to make sure that the levels are okay. But I'll still ask the chat because every audio from like recording, being in a studio with a band and doing different things with video games, audio sounds different in every way that you listen to it. So even if I'm listening to it in my earbud, I still will ask people watching it on their computers, like, because it's not going to sound identical.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I was suggesting to Graham, was like, pop an earbud in, have it on your phone, and just talk, but like have your headset down so you're still using your mic. If that helped indirectly a different way, cool. But that's what I was
when I first started doing podcasts, back when Chris had the Vetted Games podcast. I was like, oh man, the audio sounds really good, but I was using headphones, and then one of my friends was like, man, you guys are like really loud in the car and all that stuff. So like, because a lot of people listen to their podcasts in the car when they're like traveling for work or something like that. They're like, yeah, your peaks were really bad and stuff like that. So it's sadly, you'll never get your audio stuff 100% right, because it's just always changing. And Windows updates can go F themselves.
Yeah. Oh, man. And so aside from that, I'm still playing Immortals Phoenix Rising, which I spoke about last week. And I just want to say, keeping my controversy rolling, the more I play this main story quest of that game, the more I prefer it to Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild... Here's the thing. I've said Breath of the Wild I don't think is a great Zelda game, but I think it's a great game. I think Breath of the Wild is an amazing game. It's an amazing like feat of technology and stuff, especially on the Switch. It does some really impressive stuff, but I'm just enjoying Immortals a lot more because there's a bit more story-driven. And I feel like there's more to it than just beat the game or explore the world. There's actually something there in it that makes me want to keep playing it. But and I've got a couple of pickups this week, so I'll quickly go through those. One is called... Ninpen Manmaru on the Sega Saturn, so I'll try to hold that closer to the camera. It is a Japanese-only game. It's a lovely little... Okay, I'm going to show the back. There's not really much on the back other than a lot of writing and some tiny screenshots. You probably can't really see it there. But it is a 3D platform puzzle game, basically. And
that's not what I got from the cover.
It looks like a little bit like Pocky and Rocky kind of esque art.
I thought you were going to tell me this is a Pen Triicelon prequel or something.
Oh, that would be
That's
amazing.
Because it's called Ninpen.
Yeah. But he is a penguin, but he's a ninja penguin, basically. And I think there's originally an anime or a manga in Japan, which this is based off of. So some people...
probably some kids or know it. Like maybe a kid's storybook or something like that.
Oh, sure. But it's a very good, very hard... Well, it's basically a 3D platformer. You can't actually... fight in it, but there are enemies on level. The whole idea is just get from point A to point B on each level. They're lovely little 3D environments. They're actually really good visuals, especially with the Saturn, because everyone knows the Saturn wasn't the best at 3D. But it looks really good, really colourful. I played it quite a little bit before, and it does get really tough. But the great thing about it is the levels, there's like lots of platforms and levels, but you can kind of tackle them whichever way you want. So you don't have to jump across all the platforms. If you can work out another way to get from point A to point B, just do it. Because on one of the levels, I basically had to climb up lots of platforms, and then I fell off one and managed to steer in midair just about right to land on another platform, which is basically the goal. I was like, oh, that was easy, even though you're not meant to go that way. But it's really, really enjoyable. I actually really enjoyed that. So, yeah, I picked it up, and I really want to try and play it properly. Maybe I'll stream it one day, but I don't know, considering how terrible I am at streaming, it seems.
I have a question for you, but real quick, I want to welcome people that just rated us.
Hello.
Callie, nope, I'm saying it wrong. Callie the Gaming. Welcome, everybody. We are Megavisions. We our primary thing that we do is a physical indie magazine that has a Sega emphasis, but also indie retro, some modern stuff as well. This is our weekly podcast. I'm Scotty Moe. Graham is the Brit hosting, and Tornado Jones, aka Corey, is with us here as well. So welcome, everybody. Definitely plenty of Sega love going around. So, Graham, I was going to ask you, how did you find out about this game?
I can't even remember. I think I was looking just online. I was looking online a completely different Saturn game that I wanted to buy, that I'd heard of, and then I just randomly stumbled across this, and I looked at it, and I was like, that looks cool. 'Cause I love platform games. I love 3D platform games. I was like, I've never seen this. This looks really good. And yeah, I got a chance to play it. And yeah, I was like,
how much did that run you?
Great. It wasn't too expensive. That was the thing. I think I paid, well, I say not too expensive. It's more expensive than it was probably back in the day. I think it was about maybe around £60 or so. Maybe 70 shipped from Japan, which I know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I just really wanted to play it. There's some games out there I'm like, oh, do I want to drop £180 for this game? Not sure. But 60 quid, I was like, I'll give it a shot, to be honest.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's good.
Sounds fun. I would maybe consider streaming that if you can get your Saturn doing. You might need to get an upscaler if you don't have one already, sir.
I do have the ability to plug my Saturn into my capture device, so that does work. So give that a try. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Have you done that before? Have you streamed the Saturn before?
I've not streamed it, but I've captured video from it, like using the capture device, if that makes sense. So yeah,
you should be all right. I ran when I first started streaming and tried to start streaming my Saturn stuff. I ran into an issue that was specific to the TV that I was using, not even the capture device. So that's why I ask. Yeah.
Wow.
It was weird. Long story short, I have a lot of cables that are basically tricking what you have to do to stream a PS3 now, essentially. But I basically had to split the channels. Like I literally split audio, the AV stuff, red, white, yellow. I basically split all of that individually and then brought it back in to stream Saturn shit because different times, people, different times.
So here's I'll do a little input on that. So everyone's like, oh man, like no one ever really says like the production of what I do. Cause I produce, I produce a lot of our streams. I help people with stream issues on the Megavisions channel. I have my own streaming channel. I produce the Scrubverse podcast streaming portion. I don't do so much with the. All right,
this statue represents what Corey does for us. He carries us.
That's everyone's like, man, like you do like so much stuff. And like, it seems easy. I'm like, no. It's infuriating sometimes when things don't work. You know how long it's taken me to get a solid method of my madness going, right? So like. I like being the production guy. Anytime I would do fighting game tournaments or anything like that, I like being the guy behind the scenes, like setting stuff up and all that stuff. So I really like it. But it's also infuriating when things don't work. So welcome to a little bit of the taste of what I have to deal with.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad I'm not doing it full time, that's for sure.
If we were doing it full time, we would have figured it out.
That's true, actually. If I was doing it full time, maybe I'd be on
You would have. Yeah, you would have.
God. Oh, man. But one other thing, and this is Graham's controversial opinion of the week, I guess.
All right, here we go.
Graham's controversial opinion of the
week. I picked up Batman Arkham Knight on the Xbox One, and it's an old game, it's like 5 years old now, but I decided to get it. This game sucks. I don't understand.
Wait. Is that Rocksteady? I've lost track of their names.
Yeah, I think it's the Rocksteady. Is it maybe Rocksteady? God, I can't even remember now.
There is Arkham City, Asylum. Asylum, then Knight.
Yeah, that's what. So it's the third one of the Asylum games, if you want to call it that.
Oh yeah, this is the one where the bad guy is like the face guy, right, or something like that.
It's Well, right now at the start, it's Scarecrow.
No, not Two-Face. Never mind. I won't get into it. My brother played a shit ton of these games. I never did.
So I loved Batman Arkham Asylum, the first one. Brilliant. Love that game. Batman Arkham City was okay. I didn't love it. There was bits of that. There's parts of the story in that game I really hated. Like I got really mad at it because it felt like they were trying to make everything a twist. Like they're like, oh, the Joker's kind of dying. Wait, maybe he's dead. Oh wait, no, actually he's not. Actually, no, he is, kind of thing. It kept like twist flipping and flopping in the storyline. It was like every cutscene there was a massive twist and reveal. It was like, yeah, I'm done with that. I just want to finish the game now. And I finished City. Oh, what's that? What are you showing us?
It's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the ratings at all. 9 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5, 87.
95% of people like this game, Graham.
Yeah, most people like this game. I got in 3 missions in. I'm like, I want to punch myself in the face, basically. I was like, so the dialogue in the game is god awful. Like there's a conversation between Batman and Poison Ivy, and I was just like, who wrote this? My God, Batman's got the voice, but the actor behind it, I don't know if he just didn't care. He just sounds so wooden. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, and the controls, I'm sorry, I think the controls are janky. There's one bit near the start. I was trying to like walk along this, like, I'm not entirely, it's this raised platform in the city, which I think the trams go along or go under or something. And there's like some cables on it. And I tried to walk around this cable and Batman decided to jump onto the cable and then wouldn't get off. Like I couldn't get him off. and there's like no proper jumping in the game. You can't jump. Like, yeah, and I was just like stuck on it like for like 5 minutes. He was like,
"Oh yeah," because it.
And I was just like, "What are you doing?" Like, God damn
isn't it like the Zelda games, how he doesn't have a designated jump, but there's like
he doesn't.
Button.
There's no designated jump button. You can like use a grappling hook to get off things. I think that's how I did it in the end. I managed to get him to aim at a building to grappling hook off it. But yeah, he was just like stuck on this cable. But all I was doing was walking along, so he just decided, "Oh, I'm going to jump on this thing." And like, it's a tiny thin cable. You can't even walk up it. What are you doing? And then there's a bit near the beginning with the Batmobile, and I was like, "Oh, cool, the Batmobile!" And I was just like, "I'm not enjoying this at all." So yeah, and after another cutscene, I was like, "I'm done. I can't play this game."
So it is Kevin Conroy that plays Batman in this one.
Oh, really? That's a shame because he did the animated series in Asylum.
Steve Bloom's in it too. Surprise, surprise.
So yeah, in Asylum, he was great. I don't understand. He just didn't seem to have any passion for this one at all. He just seemed like, whoa, what's going on? There's a bit where Poison Ivy, Scarecrow's basically poisoning the city, sort of thing, and the whole city escape, like run away, like population. All the bad guys have taken over and killing police and stuff. And like Batman basically grabs Poison Ivy and like says like, what's going on? Like, where's Scarecrow hiding or something? And she's like, just it's sort of like there's a bit where. How would she say? She sort of said, "Oh yeah, we had a conversation," and like before, like, well, we had a meeting. There was a big meeting, and before she could say anything else, she's like, "What meeting?" And she's like, "Where all the bad guys came along or something." And I was just sitting there going, "This is
really bad.
Not good dialogue." Like, I don't know. I just anyway.
So what are you gonna say, Spotty?
Make like a tree and get out of here.
That's not how that goes. That's not.
Anyway. So that is Graham's controversial opinion of the week. There we go.
Hey, Graham, I might have found your review on Metacritic right here. Let me read it out loud. This is a 0 out of 10. Worst game ever. This is all one sentence, by the way. Worst game ever. It's poop. It's the last game of the Arkham series. It's disturbing of how much they done goofed. Please put it at 75 spot and Spider-Man at 74 for just one day, please, at least, or forever.
Wow, that's an Amazon review, is what that is. If you ever feel bad about your life, just start going through some Amazon reviews.
Yeah. Especially around when Mad Max came out and people start reviewing silver dessert icing. Anyway, Asylum was what? Yeah, it's Asylum City. Apparently, Lockdown, and then Origins and Night. Asylum was great, and that one I played through in 2 cities.
I
that
loved,
caught me off guard.
Asylum was a masterpiece. I think that's such a good game. It was so good, and that's why this has been so disappointing for me. I don't know, but yeah, City was playable. I got through that. I didn't love it, but it had fun bits to it. But yeah, this one I
played a little bit of Asylum, and those games just never really piqued my interest.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I can understand that. This
Graham, I'm not going to say like your opinion's dog shit and like you should never think that. Like that's not how I'm going to be. 10 years ago I would have, but now I'm just like I'm old, I'm tired, and I don't care. So as Jeff Gerstmann would say, fuck all video games forever. So
yeah, video games suck. Asylum is great except for the last boss, most anticlimactic thing in a game I've experienced in some time, but that's neither here nor there.
Was
it's when
I
played Doom Eternal. So.
Did the Joker get really big or something?
Yeah, the Joker gets roided out.
Yes.
Oh, he gets basically baned out. Yeah.
That particularly annoyed me because his voice didn't change because he always had that sort of kind of slightly high Jokery voice throughout the whole game.
The Mark Hamill voice.
And then when he got really big, he kept the same voice. As like, surely his voice should get deep. I don't know why. That just really annoyed me.
The roids didn't affect his vocal cords, so
like I felt like it should be like Batman, but instead he's like, I'm still the Joker.
I mean, it could be also that the roids just shrank his testicles like they do, but hey,
his voice should have got higher. So.
Yeah.
They should. I lost disbelief.
Anyway,
right. Screw it. That is our week, everybody. God, that's the longest intro we've had.
That's the podcast.
We could probably stop now. That's a whole show right there. Wow. So yeah,
I got a whiz real bad.
Oh, you got okay. So
can we take a quick break? 2-minute break.
Whiz Califia real hard.
We will take a very quick break, everybody. Quick bathroom break. We'll be right back. So stay tuned, and we're back in a moment.
Here it is, where you ask us stuff and we answer it. Hooray!
Okay, we are back with Scotty Moe's Mail Sack of Wonder.
Hey, guess who didn't scroll down to where it is? But that's right, it's time for the mail sack.
No, it got out.
Doesn't fucking matter. All right.
Oh, man.
I turned RTX off. Let's see if it's time for the mail sack.
There you go.
That's better. That worked, yeah.
Much better.
I've also just had to do the glitchy thing where it refreshes the chat, so hopefully it'll appear in the stream again. I'll just drop it. Oh, yeah, someone type in something. Check. Yeah, it's popping up. Excellent. Perfect.
We take questions from Twitter and Discord and wherever else we feel like asking. Twitter, nothing. Discord, Mr. Haru. Are we reading his response first and then going into the questions? Because that's how you've got it listed here. Is that?
Yeah, I thought we'll just bring that bit of feedback in to part of the questions rather than having a feedback section separately. I think just keep it going.
Word. Mr. Haru says, this is in response to Graham about Red Dead Redemption 2. Fantastic video that may better help you put into words why it doesn't work for you. Chef's kiss. The guide dives into not just the missions and submissions, but how Rockstar has ventured much farther away from their open world design. Because you said you like the older games of GTA. Bam, this video goes over that too. And then he gives a link there. I did not watch it, so tell us about, back at more Graham's controversial opinion.
So,
he doesn't like
I had another random controversial opinion last week where I said I didn't enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2, even though everyone else in the world seems to love it. I just couldn't get
You're not alone.
So it just I found it boring. And Mr. Haru, I actually watched this video today. So this guy, Nakey Jakey, he did a video called Rockstar's Game Design is Outdated, and it's about a 40-minute video, so it's quite a long watch, but I thought it was really good. It's actually really engrossing, and like the stuff he sort of went on to talk about. And so he part of the I won't go into the full thing, but part of the thing he sort of boiled it down to was how. Tornado Jones has just popped that video link in the chat if you want to check it out yourselves. He boiled it down to when Rockstar first started making open world games, like with GTA 3, for example, first 3D open world game they actually made. The missions in the mission structure in those games was you have to do this. Like, for example, this is the mission. This person has to die. And with that, it didn't really matter how you killed that person or the route you took to kill that person. As long as they died, you successfully completed the mission. If you died or someone you pretend to protect died or something, then you'd fail the mission. With the more modern Rockstar games, such as Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5 and stuff, if you don't do specifically what Rockstar tells you to do a mission, you fail it. So he gave like a couple of some really good examples.
Open world, quote unquote.
So he was sort of saying how outside of the missions in Red Dead Redemption 2 especially, it's an open world. You kind of go and do what you want. There's like really realistic things like skinning animals and hunting and all this nonsense. And then there's almost like reality breaking moments where Rockstar tells you to do stuff in a certain order to do a mission. So like a lot of missions will be you have to go to this place to meet a person and then go along this route to go somewhere else, and then something will happen on the way to that route, and then you've got to try and escape and kill people and then get to the end point.
Right.
Or a couple of missions might be you have to try and follow someone, and in like the old GTA game, like you might be able to, like old GTA games, you might be able to like just go and find roughly where they'll be or whatever, and like get there any way you want to. But in like Red Dead Redemption 2, he specifically showed a stealth, like not exactly a stealth mission, but a mission where you have to spy on someone and you have to go a set route to spy on them. And he tried to be sneaky and like climb over a building and stuff, like climb on the roof and like literally be watching them. And then suddenly be like, oh, you've been caught, or you've somehow something happened and now the mission.
It's like an Elder Scroll game. It's like, who caught me? Like,
yeah.
Missions of Dishonored, the first Dishonored.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like he was also saying how like they try to be really realistic and stuff, yet for example, in Grand Theft Auto 5, you could be in the middle of the desert, kill someone, no one's around, and suddenly the police are everywhere. And same in like Red Dead Redemption 2, he's saying how he was robbing a train in one area of like the world map, and suddenly his bounty went up in a completely different area, and it sort of said wanted, and it said like your name and stuff. It's like, whoever that police officer is or sheriff is in that part of the country needs the promotion, basically, because
the biggest sheriff there is God. That's who it is.
God is watching. It's really fascinating. It's loads more to the video. It's actually quite interesting, and like he breaks it all down. It's actually like before whether Rockstar really realized they were doing this or not, you can see the difference in how the old GTA games worked and the old 3D open world games work compared to the modern ones. And that kind of boiled it down to why I didn't enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2, in that I just found it kind of boring, because I think I was doing the monotonous things of, I have to go this way to get to the mission and do this thing in the mission and stuff. Whereas the old games, I'd like just be like, I've got to go over here and do something. And
I think we're kind of a special breed. I know me and Scotty specifically. I don't know too much about Graham to say it about him, but I'm not the guy to be like, I have to play everything that comes out. I have to play it. Which is terrible, because I'm in video game journalism. So, but I am very specific with the things I want to play. I really like the indie scene. I have played more indie games in the last 3 years than I've even touched AAA games. Like, that's just how it is. Right. I'm already super excited for an indie game coming out at the end of this month. It's called Cyber Shadow. So I'm super excited for that one. But you're not the only one that's like, I will argue with you, and I'm not going to do it right now with the Breath of the Wild thing, but this Red Dead Redemption thing, I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I understood the hype around Red Dead Redemption 2, but never wanted to play it. I'm just not that. I'd rather play Gun on the PlayStation 2 and all those other like Gun is a stupid ass game, but at least it knows what it is. So
yeah. I think there's way better cowboy games out there. Like, for example, my favorite one is Dead Man's Hand on the Xbox. I think it was the original Xbox. Great game.
Also, cowboys have never I'm a space guy and medieval guy. I've never really been like.
Yeah, that's fair. I love medieval. I love space, but I also love cowboys, even though I'm English. And maybe that's the fascination. I'm English, and cowboys were like not a thing over here. Basically, like,
I'm so close to it because I live so close to Texas that I don't care.
You guys have guns. We don't have guns.
Oh yeah, that's true. They're everywhere. So
yeah, we like. If someone's got a gun over here, it's like, oh my god, they got a gun. Whereas,
if you don't have a gun,
I'm now
like,
stereotyping the whole of America. Obviously,
it's fine. We deserve it.
Yeah,
that's fine. We live on burgers and ammunition, so it's all good.
Yeah, freedom runs through these colors. Don't run, boy.
Yeah. Oh wow. Did you want to pick up some of this chat that's going off about Red Dead, or? Just
we'll address it. We can address it as we're going into it and all that stuff. So
I was going to mention that I working at GameStop, I was always aware of the games out and coming out and everything, but and so because I had to be and like tell people about them, so I knew about shit. But really, though, you ask any of the regulars, I was never the guy playing the AAA stuff, and maybe GameStop was part of the reason that I wasn't, because I was tired of telling people that it's what they needed to survive. Because I like me and my buddy, I've mentioned my friend Sarah before. She and I basically kept the Vita section alive in our store. That's where our priorities were. Oh, wow. Like we got any Vita.
You like Vita? You should have married her.
Yeah, right. But it was just like Call of Duty. I was so tired of hearing a GTA 5 before it was even out.
That's the problem. GTA 5 is a good game. I've seen so much. I mean, it's still. People are still playing it to this day. It just never, like, I had tons of people that are like, you going to jump on this with us? I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I never bought it. I was like, you guys want to play Monster Hunter? They're like, no. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. GTA 5 I could never get into either. That was,
Caesar does say, Caesar does say, I enjoy spaghetti, or they call them the spaghetti westerns, the Italian westerns and stuff like that. I like that stuff. I mean, even with movies, I can think there's like 3 Western movies that I like. I mean, that's about it. I like the Magnificent Seven. I like the old one and the new one. I like what is it? Quigley Down Under. That's a Western, but it's in Australia. And then there's a couple John Wayne movies that are okay. There's horribly racist things that they said back then that do not hold up to today. I'll tell you that right now. But I've just never Western's not my thing.
We watched something recently about Big Trouble in Little China, and Kurt Russell's character Jack Trenton is basically him doing a John Wayne impression for 2 hours.
His first movie where he wasn't doing an impression was The Thing.
Yeah,
Because
Right.
Big Trouble in Little China was his John Wayne impression, and then Escape from New York was his Clint Eastwood impression.
It actually comes out. Now you've said that. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally
Makes sense.
see that.
I watch a lot of Red Letter Media. Okay. So, all right. What's our next question? What else we got?
Okay. Yes. That's.
Mr. Haru also asks, this is where we get to the questions. Mr. Haru asks, what is your favorite subgenre of a game you enjoy the most? Example, kart racing, or Vania as in Castlevania, platformer, etc.
I'm ready to go whenever.
That's fine because I have no idea.
I mean, for anyone that knows me, obviously you guys know me, but for listeners that don't know me or people that are watching this Twitch stream, I am very platformer. You make me a good platformer with some good pixel art and some good music, and you got me. I really like platformers. I really like beat 'em ups. A good beat 'em up. I've played a lot of bad beat 'em ups, but a good beat 'em up I will have a tons of fun with, and I really do like kart racers. I like good kart racers. I'm not going to be playing no Garfield kart racing game. Those are ass, or the Barbie, or the the Monster High ones. There's a lot of. Let's just say the Wii had a lot of bloatware on it. That's what it had. But like the Crash kart racing game, there's a lot of mechanics to that I still don't understand, but it's still good. Diddy Kong Racing, Sonic Transformed, I would say that's a kart racer, even though it's more like cars, but it's a kart racer. Of course, Mario Kart. I mean, there's so many good ones out there. There's just a fun time to sit down, and those are my fighting games. I'll talk shit in those games because I can understand kart games, but I love fighting games, but I can't play fighting games. I'm just not good at it. I have not been able to invest the time, but I don't know if you guys have ever gone to a fighting game tournament, but if you go to a fighting game tournament, it's some of the most, even if you don't know how to play the game, Anti-Chris and myself have talked about this a lot, and there's terms for it. I think we've gone to it. There's like Jimmies and Johnnies and stuff like that. I'm the guy that will hype people up. I'll hype them up. If you need something, like it's the same with production. I want to be that guy that gives the person that has the capability to win or to become like just an amazing player. I want to give them that stuff and be like, here's everything, now go. So they're fun as hell. But
Corey's the agent.
Basically, I'm kind of like a manager, but I would hate to be called that. Like, even in the kitchen, because people that don't know, I am also a culinarian. I'm in school right now trying to get a culinary degree, but they're like, all right, you're the boss of the kitchen today. I was like, we ain't using that word. I am a leader. I will lead this crew today, but I don't like being called the boss. That's just like a personal thing.
Nice.
So, you act as if I have not hosted a little thing called Pole Caliber before, sir.
Don't break my heart about last year's, okay?
I know about tournaments. All right.
That's true.
Best fighting tournament.
They're no joke.
Oh God, I'm so ready for the vaccines to get administered everywhere, because when we come back, I don't know if too many games will be like normal this year or not. It really depends. And there's some controversy going around with MagFest right now. Been hearing some positive things coming back about it. But do you understand the comeback that is going to be so hard for like everybody? Just being like, let's go to a convention. Like the first convention, like the first big one is going to be humongous, is what it's going to be. And
yep,
I'm happy about it. Like, I just want to see my friends again. I just want to, like, this is great. Being able, like, if we didn't have the internet, I'd probably shot my brains out a long time ago. But like, let's just be honest about it. But this only goes so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so I guess yours would be kart racing. He said subgenre. You were listing. I don't think platform is a subgenre. Platform.
Oh, okay. I guess kart racing would be, because it's part of racing.
Kart racing is Vania platformers. Like there are platformers, but then there are Castlevania or there are Metroidvania.
I mean, if you look at it, I like Banjo-Kazooie. I like collectathons a little bit to a point. I don't like Donkey Kong 64 level of collectathons.
That's a bad example of a platformer and a collectathon.
But that's the thing, is it does hit both of those, and it's a bad representation of it. But you look on the other side of it, you have Banjo-Kazooie, which I feel has just enough collecting and good platforming in it. Yeah. So I like those.
I don't. Graham, do you have one? Because I could maybe talk about one if you don't.
I'm tossing between two. You can go first. Sir.
So I do enjoy kart racers, but I'm not a giant fan like Corey is. I do enjoy rhythm games for obvious reasons. I'm a drummer, but I suck at Rock Band and stuff. But that's because my muscle memory plays the real parts to the songs, and that's not what those games want you to do.
A lot of musicians that I've known are like, I can't play these games because they're doing it wrong. So.
Yeah, they're doing what they can. God bless those games because they got people into real instruments. Some people, and stuff. But
Rocksmith was good.
Yeah, but it's not the same. But I enjoy the rhythm games that are not supposed to be the main games. Like for anyone in the chat, maybe they've seen me do that Tempo stream for the 32X game Tempo. There's a pizza eating mini game that I've talked about and I will forever, but there's no visual. You have to listen to the music and stuff. But stuff like that's a subgenre, or at least it was at one point, a rhythm mini game.
It's so like the WarioWare games too.
Yeah, so like those ones are crazy, batshit insane. There was I forget now. I had another one and I can't remember it now. Sometimes, but I won't spend too much time on them. But I do like the things where you can kind of like the artificial life, like the Chow in Sonic Adventure. I like the Nighttopians in Knights. There's
like Pokemon
not really
a little bit, or Neopets.
Yeah, Pokemon is too much for me, where that's the whole game. But like if it's a side thing and you have like these little pets and stuff, because I've kind of always had dogs growing up and different pets and things. So I do like the little kind of take care of something within a game sometime within reason, if it has to have been done well. Like the thing in college 1 year, kind of the year where we were like fed up with college and not sure if we were going to continue or what. My buddy, one of my roommates and I, we got fucking hooked on raising Chow in Sonic Adventure 2 for some reason. Like collecting those dumb power rods, because there's a lot more to do
class today.
Yeah, I did not do that, but he sure did one day.
And I did that with WoW. I did that with World of Warcraft.
Yeah, well, with the because it's not even. Oh hell yeah, Caesar found the clip.
I know you have never responded to something in the chat so fast in your life.
Yeah, thank you, Caesar. No, because it's part of the delisting thing. There's got to be a mindset around that, because I did not. Knuckles just fell off my shelf, scared the shit out of me. I did not save that stream, so the whole full stream of me starting, playing, and beating Tempo is gone. But the mini game was clipped, thankfully, so that's why I'm so obsessed with it too, because I can't have it again like that.
You gotta start backing up your streams.
Yeah, well, that was before I had my external hard drive.
That's true.
The Chow thing, though, there's a lot more to do in the second one than there was in the first one. But I was obsessed, and that was probably comes from the Tamagotchi bullshit that happened in the 90s. They had that for the first Sonic Adventure. You could do on the VMU a Chow Adventure, which is really cool, and also partially cool because it's like, as a child, this being the first console I bought, I could afford one game and a memory card, so I technically have two games because of Chow Adventure on my VMU. And when I was hanging out with my buddy Ben at the time, his mom always made us go outside and play, so we would just go far enough away and just play the Chow Adventure.
I mean, you even got that. One of the Pokemon remakes actually brought in the Pokewalker, so you can move one of your Pokemon from the game onto that Pokewalker and take care of them. Even though, which was goofy because Pokemon was on a handheld system anyway. So, like, why would I need a Pokewalker? But that thing's stupid expensive now. So
didn't make sense. But in Sonic Adventure 2, kind of to defend the Chow Garden, there was a lot more to do in that one. They still had the Chow Adventure, but in the Sonic Adventure game, it was really, I think what it was for him more than me was it was watching stats improve, because in the second game, you could actually see the ticker go up and like their levels go up for like speed, strength, fly, agility, or whatever for the races. And there were karate battles, and there was something else in the Chow game. I don't remember. There were 3 mini games.
Karate racing.
You know what the other one?
Wasn't it just like a beauty pageant or something? Or like some kind of like skill pageant?
Maybe. But what I'm getting to is like, it was this full world in this game that was a mini game. And he was hooked on that, like getting the power rods and the animals to feed them to the Chow and watch their levels go up. And like, he didn't even care about the emblems that you could get for the overall Emblem collection and all that bullshit. He was on that way more than I was, but I do enjoy stuff like that because it's also a break from the main game, especially when you've been trying to get through a level and you just can't fucking destroy this boss or something. You go chill out in the Chow Garden and do whatever for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess the A-Life stuff and the and rhythm games before they were a genre.
All right, Graham, you're up.
So for me, I guess this is I assume this is a sub-genre of platformers is 3D platformers. So I think that's probably one of my top picks, really. But I'm very picky about my 3D platformers. There's actually, I'm thinking about it, there's actually only a handful out of all the world of 3D platformers that I genuinely love. I still think Mario 64 is probably my favorite. I love Banjo-Kazooie as well.
It's still really solid.
Yeah, I think those games are just so good.
We just recently did a race of it, and it's still pretty solid.
Which one? Mario or Banjo?
Mario 64. Me, Antichrist, and myself a couple months ago did a race of it, and it still holds up pretty well. We were playing on OG, like we weren't playing any of the ports or the new Switch. I've heard the new Switch one's really rough. I haven't played it yet, but we were playing on N64, and the N64 still holds up to me.
I don't think the Switch version's rough. They just didn't add anything to it from what I can.
I think what it was is it wasn't Super Mario 64 that was so rough. It might have been the Galaxy and Sunshine where they like did a lot of different stuff to it. I don't know. I think Haru had gone into it, and Antichrist had talked about it too. So
okay, I'm replaying. I spoke about this on the podcast many episodes ago, but yeah, replaying Galaxy, I just wasn't enjoying on the Switch, and I don't know why. I just think I'm bored. I found it boring. But 64. Oh, and Sunshine though. For some reason, I enjoyed Sunshine more than the GameCube version. But Mario 64 was, as I remembered it, basically just slightly sharper visuals, and I just loved that. But it is disappointing they didn't really add anything to it. Whereas like the DS version, they did add 4-player modes and all this other jazz, which was kind of fun. But yeah, just
Nintendo's pretty popular with their cash grabs. That's what that was.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That was all it was. But I just really enjoyed it.
But we bought it, so
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I actually still really love Sonic Adventure. I think for the storyline, especially, and the characters and stuff. But then outside of that, there's actually only a handful of platform games I really enjoy. But yeah, I guess that's what. And maybe I don't know if this is also a sub-genre, but open world RPGs. So I do like some RPGs, but I don't like all of them. I can't really get into turn-based ones that are super, super, super long, like Final Fantasy. I kind of almost switch off on. I can't really get into them that much.
It's because we've gotten older.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I've been having the internal struggle the last few, because I was like, I'm going to stream Final Fantasy VII, and then I did 2 streams of it, and I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Like, I just don't. And I mean, I'm going to try it again with Final Fantasy IX, because Final Fantasy IX is my favorite. But it's just like, back when we were younger, we had homework to worry about, maybe sports if we were active that way. And then other than that, I'm like, oh, it's the weekend. I'm not doing shit. I'm going to be playing this game all weekend.
Exactly.
So I can't do that now. I got a mortgage and bills and anxiety. So
putting 200 hours into a game is going to take 5 years or something right now for me.
Yeah.
I was saying this to Rachel recently, because I recently played through Resident Evil 2, the OG, and I'm doing remake right now. But I bought Resident Evil 2 is the first game I bought that I needed an adult with me, because at the time I didn't have an ID anyway. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but in fact, what I'm getting to though is speaking of we had time to do it. I think and my my parents were separated, so I would basically go to my dad's every other weekend, but I would bring a console with me and just set it up in his basement and plant my butt in the recliner down there. That was definitely a recliner that probably should have been thrown away before moving to that place, but it was my gaming chair.
You brought your own babysitter with you, is what it was.
Yeah, basically was. But it was he would of course come downstairs and check on me, but they never had a problem with how many hours I put into video games. But I think that's because they knew what other horrible things I could be spending my time doing as a kid. So I have a feeling all that time spent playing video games, they were could be worse. So
I got told I grew up overweight, obviously, but I got told a couple times, especially during summer, hey, go outside. Like you need to, and now that I'm older, I'm like, my parents should have done that a lot more because I was not sports active. I didn't play football. I didn't play baseball. I didn't play soccer. I didn't play any of that stuff. I didn't play anything. My biggest thing at school was I took 4 years of art, and I had a high GPA. That was it. Other than that, I was a fat ass that played video games all the time. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Man. Also, too, nowadays, I'm like, if I were to sit down and put 200 hours into an RPG, the whole time I'm doing it, I'm like, I could be in my brain. I understand that what's the phrase? Anytime spent doing something you love is not wasted time. But in my head, I'm like, I just spent 200 hours on that when I could have been doing so much more productive things. Yeah, so it's like an internal struggle that I have with myself.
Yeah. Right. And I think this is the thing, like open world RPGs, like for example, Skyrim, I've put way more than 200 hours into Skyrim and like Oblivion and Morrowind and stuff. But
Morrowind.
if like for those games, like if I really wanted to just do the storyline, for example, I know I could beat it in like just a few hours, really, like, you know, but there's so much more to the game I can go and explore, but it's almost like it's one of those games that I can invest time in, you know, periodically. Like I can jump in and be like, oh, I know I'm going to do these missions for the Thieves Guild, for example. Right. I'm going to go explore that thing over there because I've never gone to that part of the map. Whereas I feel with like some of these other RPGs, which are like really, really long, really good storylines and stuff. If I don't,
it's the struggle I have with Yakuza.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Like I just feel like if I don't stick to it, I will forget what I'm doing, and I'll go back to it. Like, what am I doing? What's going on now? Wow. Because they're really story driven and they're really good. But yeah, if I stop playing for like a few weeks and come back to it, like
I got to start over now.
Yeah, I don't know what I've just done. I don't know what's going on in this game anymore.
I haven't played Yakuza 0 in months. If I were to go back, I'd be like, where the hell did I leave off? So,
guys, I just had an epiphany. Epiphany. I have bought every Yakuza game. Like I have 0 through
6, 7.
I have 0 through 6 and Dead Souls, and I played a couple of them for a couple hours and cannot get into them. I think I maybe bought those I bought those games now, I realized, for 2 reasons. 1, Sega, support them. 2, I was so tired of hearing about the new 3D GTAs that I would buy Yakuza because it was GTA's competition.
Yeah. Yakuza, that's the thing. The whole franchise, every one of those games is good, but I can't get like the storylines are great, but I just can't do it.
I cannot touch this game. I've used the tumblers that it came with more than I thought.
Oh, nice. Wow. For audio listeners, that's Yakuza 6, the Song of Life edition that has the tumbler, like the glasses and all that stuff, and the art book and all that stuff with it. And are those whiskey rocks? Yeah.
But yeah.
That's nice, though.
Now that we're older, we feel like so it's that internal struggle of, it's like the rock, paper, scissors thing where it's like you have time, it's time, money, and what is it? Time, money, and there's a third one, but it's always like you'll never have all three. If you have time and you have money, then you'll never play video games. Or if you're like, you have all the time that you need and you want all these video games, but you like, it's weird. Like you'll never have all three of them.
Yeah, I'm at a stage in my life where I can actually afford to buy all these games, and no time really to do it or anything. Oh man, it's not
time, money,
quality. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Callie the Gaming.
I think it's Caliph Gaming, maybe.
Oh, sorry, I can't. I'm a little further from my screen.
You're good.
I kind of already hit a roadblock with the Resident Evil 2 remake because of that. Like, I just played through RE2 original and flew through it playing Claire's story, but I was playing the remake last night and I'm just like, I don't fucking know what to do. I don't even feel like doing these puzzles. This game is moving too slow for me, and it's it's losing me real fast.
I never played the OG, so when I played the remake, I was like, this is my first time ever playing it. I did play it. I played the N64 version like for a little bit, but I was like, I can't play this game.
So yeah, I ended up.
Go ahead, Graham.
Oh, I was just gonna say I played the Claire. Yeah, it is Claire. Yeah, the Claire version on the OG, and I started playing the Leon version on the remake. And as you know, Scotty, I kind of, when I got to like the Mr. X tyrant guy following me around, I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to play this game anymore because this is not.
Oh no, that was opposite for me.
Like I like I like thinking strategically in Resident Evil, going, I need to go over here, I need to go over here. But when he was chasing me through the fucking rooms, I'm like,
but now you have a new pressure variable.
Yeah, I didn't want
something
that.
you don't like.
I didn't enjoy that part of the game. So I'm like, yeah, this is not what I wanted.
I loved it because it terrified me.
I just encountered a licker for the first time, and I ended up looking up how to do. I was getting annoyed because I was literally trying every combination with those medallion puzzles with the three pictures you have to match up, and I was like, I'm doing what this fucking manual says. As I'm like, I'm looking it up. I don't care because I may have missed a sheet somewhere, so I started looking those up because I don't know. It might have been because it was later in the night, and I was just getting, and I wanted to. Actually, what's ridiculous? I was like, I said yesterday to Rachel, I'm like, for my birthday, since it was Thursday, we didn't really do that much. For Saturday, we got some ramen. I was like, I kind of want to just play a game. I think I'll just sit down with RE2 more. And I sat down with RE2 more. I'm like, nah, I'm not in the mindset for this. So I turned on the fucking Genesis Classic, the mini classic, and played a couple games. What did I end up ending the night with? I played through Sonic 2.
Well, when I streamed my Leon run of RE2 remake, you're back now.
Okay, playing the remake.
But I was playing the remake, and I was legitimately getting scared. Like with the Hall of the Lickers, I was just like, I have to move slow so they don't know I'm here. Like I was legitimately terrified of that game. That's why the game took me like double the amount of time it should have taken me, because I was so scared. Because as Scotty knows, I hate scary games and I'm terrible at them. So, but I also need to go through with the Claire so I can get the true ending, because I still don't know what the true ending is. I'm very good at like for Persona 4. I didn't know the ending of Persona 4 for like 7 years after it came out. Wow. Like I stayed away from spoilers that long. But
I think I'm Resident Evil 2 remake is graining on me, because maybe I shouldn't have played them back to back, but I wanted to have a refresher. But I feel like the remake is too dark. Like not dark to the point of being creepy, but dark to the point of being annoying that I can't see where I should be going. And I'm like,
you just gotta jack that brightness up, baby.
I guess so. I've done that before. Like that's how I played BioShock and stuff. So I might have to do that, because I was like legitimately annoyed that I couldn't find a door on the map that I just run past somehow. But it is what it is. I'll figure it out. It's old man Scotty probably. I know I gotta finish it up.
Well, I learned that long ago on my TV. I just have to have the brightness up on most games, because the set, like my TV it makes things too dark. I can't see them, so I'm like, brightness.
It's the same, yeah.
I did that anyway. So yeah,
I have noticed that he's not here, but Mr. Powell himself put in a question.
Do we not want to read Mr. Haru calling us out real quick and Transformed?
I was going to go over I was thinking about maybe when we were talking about what's coming up on the streams coming up, because I was going to address that then.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll hold off.
Mr. Baron Von Powell asked, what are some other license games that we've lost due to expiring licensing deals that you think would make the most sense for a publisher to re-release today? Please let us know why you think it'd be successful commercially. So he's going back to Scott Pilgrim, how that was re-released, I can start this off by saying either Afterburner or Outrun.
God damn
very good. Sorry. Fucking come on, Graham! What a shock! For the Sega emphasized website and podcast, I named 2 Sega games right away, and I steal yours. But come on now,
I've got one.
To give quick background on those, Outrun, they had Ferrari licensed in that, and then was it Lamborghini or Ferrari? Ferrari, the horse.
Ferrari, yeah.
And Afterburner had an actual like F-17 Tomcat or something. I forget.
I can't remember what it is.
It had a licensed plane, and one of them had a licensed car. So
yeah. Air Force, he knows planes. He would know, right? Yeah.
I hate you.
I think we can all. Another one I'll say, and I won't. I guess this one I'll go. Those I think would be relevant and cool because of nostalgia, but also so many of the Sega Ages things have been done where they just port them and add little things to them. But these are the remakes I'm talking about, like Afterburner Climax and Outrun. I forget what it was. It 2?
You want me to ping Kusanagi?
Well, Outrun 2 was a completely new game, basically. But yeah,
The one that I think would definitely be commercially successful is if Microsoft and Rare struck a deal and just put out GoldenEye again. I mean, come on.
I've been seeing rumors of Nintendo trying to work with Rare to get some kind of Rare collection out, which would mean you'd get Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, you'd get Perfect Dark, you'd get 007 GoldenEye, you'd get a good amount of them, but I can tell you right now, that shit ain't ever going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either. There's been a GoldenEye fan-made remake in the works for a while, which is looking pretty good. And that's probably going to have to be the way to go. But there's those two companies, but then there's also the licensing of the James Bond franchise that would be probably hell to acquire and make relevant.
That's the sticky thing because of like EA. Does EA still own the rights? So I don't know if that's been lost to someone else now, actually.
Boy, I don't know. When was a James Bond game last out? I think the last James Bond game was Bloodstone, if I'm not mistaken, which is based off a movie that never happened with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I've got a feeling there's another James Bond game coming out soon, but I think it's not EA who's making it anymore. I think it's another.
Oh, that's right. It's being done by the guys who make Hitman. IO.
That would be interesting.
IO Interactive. Is it IDOS? I know there's an I in there.
IDOS.
But so that could be really cool. But no, quite literally, the reason that the GoldenEye game would be popular is because just nostalgia. N64 is now all the rage right now. That era is, and it's not going anywhere because that's what's cool is nostalgia. That's been cool in video games, and people are digging up shit. Like, I mean, look at the Mario collection. Granted, that's Mario. The Rare Replay was, I don't think, as successful as they wanted it to be. But that was one of the two games I actually bought on Xbox One when I had one. And I think it could actually work. I think if they timed it, and it's all in the marketing. It's all in the marketing because Pierce Brosnan's not relevant. Daniel Craig's barely even relevant right now until they actually put out that movie that he's.
Well, I've been hearing they're switching the James Bond soon. Yeah.
And I think GoldenEye could work. And I want to address real quick, Khalith Gaming. I'm sorry about your name, me saying it. M2, we talked about a couple episodes ago. I just want to address because they said, I'm so sad M2 is not doing anymore. Those on Switch, those are perfect. When we discussed them saying they were no longer doing it, we realized at that point they were basically putting out a game a year, a remake a year. So they have been kind of working nonstop. So they probably just need a break, but they are. M2 does make amazing ports of Sega games.
Yep.
Yeah. And on the GoldenEye thing, Caesar was saying that last time a deal was nearly struck, Nintendo were the ones who said no. So
what a shock.
Yeah. But yeah, now the license holders have moved on, I guess, like to different studio. It's going to be a bit trickier again, I guess. And
licensing sucks.
Yeah. But
I'm still amazed that on the Genesis Mini there's two Disney games, that Castle of Illusion and World of Illusion. I don't understand how they got those out there.
That's a game that the remake of Castle Illusion was phenomenal. I love the original Castle Illusion. I love it on the Game Gear. I love it on the Mega Drive, and I love the remake they made. And then they put it out. It was a great game. The studio at Sega Australia closed down because the sales weren't high enough or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a fantastic game. Everyone said it was great, and then basically got pulled off all the digital stores because licensing.
Right.
Yeah, just
speaking of Disney, I would say Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is suffered from this delisting and licensing since Marvel owns Disney now. No, Disney owns Marvel now. Sorry, they're gonna come and get me now that I got it wrong. So, but no, that's something that suffers. And I think it would be. I don't know if it would be commercially successful, but it would be in the fighting game community, but the problem is the fighting game community is so niche that I don't know if it would be commercially successful to re-release it again. But I'd buy it if you re-released it again and if you listed it back. So, Khaled says, yep, the DuckTales by Way Forward. Yeah, that was a fantastic remake.
Great. Yeah.
So,
I think that MVC2 could work if they marketed in the marketing. They emphasized before the MCU and stuff like that, because that's what half the reason was that Infinite died because they didn't. They tried to make it part of the MCU, but not part of the MCU, and it was just like
Infinite. had a whole bunch of other stuff that was wrong with it too. But this was the year that if anything would have happened with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it would have happened because this was the 20th anniversary. It was coming back to EVO. It was going to be a huge thing. They had the top 8 players that were going to do a tournament. Like, it was going to be huge. And unfortunately, COVID got it.
Damn it.
So,
yeah.
But,
just to touch, sorry, I was just going to say to touch on that question, I think, well, you sort of said it, Scotty, but specifically for me, it was going to be Outrun 2. I thought Outrun 2 was just a phenomenal game. I think it was Outrun 2 SP, actually, which had the online play on Xbox. It was on Xbox Live Arcade, and the online play of that game was just so much fun, and it just annoys me. I almost just wish they never put Ferrari in it. Like, they could have a Ferrari-looking car and just, it's a sports car, generic sports car A. They don't.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that previously with this? How, like, what's it called? Oh my God, what's that Horizon Turbo?
Horizon Chase Turbo.
Yeah. That one has, like, clearly a Volkswagen Beetle, but it's not called that, and like a Ferrari and like a DeLorean. They could easily get away with making it look like something.
Rocket League does it with actual branding, so.
And Arcade Racing Legends, the recent release on the Dreamcast.
Oh yeah.
To be playing this like the Batmobile and like Ghostbuster X01 and stuff, and also like Porsches and Bugatti.
Mario Kart has some Mercedes in it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 2 DLC cars that are Mercedes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's goofy.
That DLC may get. We don't know.
I remember Double Dash has a Cadillac looking thing, which is I think Wario's or somebody.
Yeah, it's a Naudilac is what it is.
Since it had it looked like there were bats themed with it or something. My buddies and I always called it the Battleac.
Yeah, I was just playing that game last night. It still holds up. It's still fun.
Yeah, Double Dash is my favorite. A lot of good couple of things.
Yeah,
huh?
We hit. And I was gonna say, I think that answers Pal's question.
Yeah. I love that game.
Did you have any closing thoughts with that on yours, Graham? Since you were kind of still talking about yours.
Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine. I just Outrun 2 was one of those ones that although I just noticed Caesar said something about it. Just a theory, not really based on anything. They tried that with Outrun 2 and see how many people remembered that game. I talk about removing the Ferrari license. Outrun 2 did have the Ferrari license, and that's why it's pulled from all the services. So that was the problem.
I don't know.
So I know that's anyway. But yeah, I love the GoldenEye shout. That's a game I'd love to see come back.
It could totally come back.
Yeah, that's one of the few movie license games that really followed the movie, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't really happen that often. But
it does. I think Perfect Dark's a better game though. Like a better shooter.
It is,
but it also came out like 3 or 4 years after. Well, not 3 or 4 years, but it had time to see what the N64 was capable of and to see what lines they could push. So,
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I just look at Perfect Dark as like 007, like 2.0.
Yeah,
so
it is.
And then Zero ruined that franchise, so let's not talk about it.
All right.
I was so mad when Zero came out. I was like, yes.
Wait, didn't we? Game. Another game where Zero ruined it. So
we're talking about what was it? Lilac Wars or
Star Fox Zero?
Star Fox. Lilac Wars. Sorry,
Bomberman X-Zero.
Actually, not the same with Yakuza 0 though. Yakuza 0 is really good. So
it's got
hit and miss on those. So
anyway,
all right. Rider's Zero Gravity. I've heard that's okay. So who knows, right? Can you guys hear that at all?
We can.
Oh yes.
All right. Hey, guess what? That's going to do it for the mail sack. So
you got to. There you go. You just got to remember to talk with it, and then it'll still pick up with your voice.
That's going to do it for the mail sack.
There you go. Perfect.
Nice. So okay.
Flawless.
Oh, do we need another break, or are you happy to keep going?
I'm okay to keep going.
I'm good.
Cool. Next thing is, because we're going on quite a while, are we going to do our picks of the week, or should we just go straight into our feature discussion? What are you guys thinking?
I'm fine skipping the picks, whatever you guys want to do.
Because I know we were having trouble doing the picks of the week. So, okay, we are actually going to miss our picks of the week this week, which is fine. I think all of us were struggling a little bit actually this week, but
I mean, I've been watching a lot of Giant Bomb stuff. That's all I've been really doing. So nothing big.
That's fair enough. I'll just say mine quickly. Schitt's Creek. Been watching a ton of Schitt's Creek. Love it. So there we go.
Yeah, all I said was go watch Johnny Mnemonic. It's The Matrix before The Matrix with Keanu Reeves.
It takes place during this year. What?
Yeah, 2021.
Doesn't it?
And then also go check out the Twitch channel that is MXC, which is Takeshi's Castle. So go check that out.
That's the only fun thing I had to say about Johnny Mnemonic is the main villain in Johnny Mnemonic is one of the hosts in MXC.
Wait, is it Vic?
No. His name is Takeshi. You know how Kung Pao was a whole movie and they took and overdubbed it and made it funnier. That's what MXC was. It was a show called Takeshi's Castle.
Right. I didn't know that the guy that plays Vic in MXC is a character that one of the Yakuza games bases off of him.
Interesting.
I did not know that. Anyway.
Wait,
that's
a future discussion.
Sorry, I have to just ask a question on that. So, did you have Takeshi's Castle in America, or are you saying this show called MXC?
No idea.
MXC is a spoof of Takeshi's Castle. We did not have Takeshi's Castle, but we have the MXC, which is the voiceover. We still get to see everything. We see all of the all the stuff, but it's just voiced over by like 3 or 4 people in the beginning, just being stupid, and it's really funny. Because otherwise it would just be in Japanese and we couldn't understand it.
So yeah, we had Takeshi's Castle here, but basically it was all in Japanese still. Like it was fantastic. Yeah. I think they had like an announcement at the very start going, this week on the show, this stuff happens. And then they just went into the show all Japanese. It was hilarious.
Yeah, you can go check it out on Twitch. There's an MXC channel that's 24/7 and you can go check it out.
Check that out. Okay, and that was our picks of the week.
Anyway, that's been our quick picks. Oh, I'm just singing whatever.
Brilliant. So with that, we will go into our feature discussion. Yes, we're back.
Sorry.
We're back with our feature discussion. Yeah.
Hello.
I have to refresh that chat box because for some reason it
weird.
I don't know why it keeps cancelling out the chat box. There we go. Awesome. Yes, welcome back. Thank you, Caesar. Yes, excellent. So this week's discussion, we are going to be, well, the topic I've written down is, does Sega need to work on its announcements? Because we're talking about the Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 announcements that happened this week. So if you don't know, a few days ago, Sega tweeted out they will be live streaming on Twitch with a special announcement. And the tweet said, we'll be back for our first live stream of 2021 this coming Thursday with something special. More details to come, but make sure to follow us on Twitch to get notified when we're live. And then it had the old Sega logo, the old Sonic Sega logo, where Sega comes up and Sonic runs past it. It's like Sega with Sonic running past it, basically.
Right.
And a lot of the social media comments and on Twitter and stuff were like, "Oh my god, new Sonic game," and other people are like going, don't get excited, it's not a new Sonic game. And there's all this banter between all like the Sega fans and stuff, and people were starting to speculate what it could be. And when the day finally came, Sega's basically when the day finally came that they were going to stream it, Sega actually put out on YouTube a video announcing Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 was going to have Sonic as a new character in the game. And then a lot of people were like, wait, is that going to be the announcement later? Like, is that what it is? And that's what it was, basically. Effectively, on the Twitch stream, at the very start, they just went, oh yeah, so yeah, today we're going to stream on Twitch. We're doing Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, and we just got an announcement. Sonic is going to be a character in the game now, and we're going to play the game now, basically. And that's, I didn't watch the whole stream. I watched the intro bit and then some of it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I don't need to watch this for like 2 hours. That's fine.
Boo this company.
But yeah, so effectively, it kind of really, I think for some people was just like, oh, that was it? Like, why were you trying to build up that big reveal? And you announced it before the big reveal as well. I think that was the annoying thing.
Someone dropped the ball.
And it wasn't even a big reveal. It's really annoying. So the question I'm throwing out there to both of you and also to the chat is, does Sega need to work on their announcements? Or do you think that's fine and they should just keep doing what they're doing, basically?
They should work on them.
One thing I need to note in this is that looking at Sega's recent Twitch streams, they mostly be getting reviews in their thousands, which is fine. That's respectable. There was a charity stream with about 4,000 watchers there. And the next big one was Streets of Rage 4, which brought in 8,000. the one which mentioned like they were teasing Sonic with had 10,000 views. So it's almost like they know that the popular IPs get the hits. So, Sonic gets the hits. So let's just tease it.
It's a marketing ploy. Sonic's your biggest thing. Sonic movie came out this year. Sonic people, young kids that don't even know who these Fortnite kids are like, I know Sonic. He did the floss. So they're like, I'm going to go check this out and all that stuff. So yeah, can I just be blatantly honest?
No, we prefer to only cherish and be.
This is a shit announcement. This is a really bad announcement. And Sega needs to they definitely capitalized on that. They're just like, Sonic's in it. And everyone's like, this was the same thing where, what was it? Was it the Tokyo Game Show or something like that? Where they're like, there's going to be a Sega stream afterwards. And it was just like 45 minutes of the Catherine remaster or something like that.
Right.
And I was just like, that's it? Like, that's cool for people that like Catherine, but aren't you going to show off other stuff or have any other announcements or anything like that? So I don't know. When you're hyping up an announcement like that and then tease it okay, it's a Sonic in Puyo Puyo. But when you show that logo that brings all that nostalgia back, you're just like, oh shit, this is going to be like Sonic Mania 2 teaser or something like that, or something big. Or, I mean, it could have been a tease for Sonic Forces 2. It could have been anything, but I'm just like, come on, man. That's kind of goofy.
Yeah, I didn't even really know what was I didn't know that an announcement was coming, but I just have been in my own world a lot lately. But to also clarify for anyone that doesn't know what we mean when we say Sonic is in Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, what that means is when you're playing as a character, and also in Puyo in PPT 2, in Puyo 2, I'm just going to call it, even though there is a Puyo 2. In Puyo 2, you can set up teams and stuff of 3 characters, because they're definitely not all even humans in that game. But so whenever you get successfully pull off moves and do different things, the character yells something. And they flash on the screen like they're behind the playing field. They're below your actual Tetris and Puyo screen and stuff. So I forget what Sonic was saying, because I reviewed Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 for Megavisions. So go check that out. And they did say they're going to continually put stuff out for it, which is cool. Continue to support it after the release. But when Sonic, if you're bad at this game, you're going to hear the same fucking taunts over and over and over again. Like, if you're not that great at Tetris, they say something for when you clear 1 line. They say something different when you clear 2 lines, when you clear 3, when you get a Tetris. So I got to hear Sonic yell Tetris. And at first in my head, I was like, after Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 came out, I realized that Tetris... Oh, I just realized I didn't have my Yeti on, sorry. Or my RTX on. Sorry if I sound like shit. Tetris, actually, now that I thought about it, is one of the more influential video games in my life, because that's one of the... I won't go into that background, but so when I heard, Sonic and Tetris together, that's awesome. That they're speaking of me. And so I thought for a second that was cool, but then I was like, oh no. Part of the thing that I fucking hate about Puyo Puyo Tetris is how I suck at Puyo Puyo. So I hear the same thing from the characters over and over and over in a match. So it'll be like, yeah, all right. Not even different inflections, but so it's cool to hear Sonic yell Tetris and stuff, but that's basically what they mean by he is a character in the game. I don't know if he has different stats or anything like that. He might. But that's what it means. So Sonic is in Puyo Puyo Tetris as a character you can select. It's cool seeing him on like the character select screen, but it's not that.
Why make that an announcement? Like with the new Super Monkey Ball game that came out, I think it was like sometime in 2019. Like they just had that as a secret character. It wasn't just like an announcement, like a big Sonic's in Super Monkey Ball. It's like it must be a slow news day for Sega, is what it is. So, yeah. And the chat said too was like the last time they were super excited for something Sega was Streets of Rage 4, and likewise, that was a new game. That game's phenomenal, but your game already released, and you're making like the Sonic announcement act like it's the big like, oh shit, you guys are gonna want to pre-order and get this. Just like, come on, man. Right. Like, I get that it's slow, but don't hype up something just like that.
And it also just annoys me that the fact that they kind of hyped it up and teased it on social media, and then they revealed it elsewhere on YouTube. They sent out. It's like we have this reveal announcement. Let's do that, and then it's like, oh, it's all the news sites were like, oh, is this what they're teasing? Like, come on,
an intern messed up the time zones or something is what happened.
Yeah, must have done. I don't know. It's just weird, and I feel like Sega has a tendency to do this over exaggerating stuff, like they did with. I don't know if you remember the reveal for Humankind. Sega announced that they were going to revealing a AAA franchise, basically, or AAA title, and people were like, "Oh my god, it's Skies of Arcadia 2." I don't know, all the crap came out, all the different things. They're going to be releasing another, I don't know, Sonic Mania 2 or whatever it was, and it's like this reveal trailer for Humankind, and everyone's like, "What is this? What is? I don't know what this is. I don't care, basically. What are you doing to me? Like, is this a AAA title? I don't even know." Like, and then from what I remember, the game finally released, and there's no fanfare to it at all. It's just like, it just came out. It's launched now, guys. Don't worry.
Hey, we can't forget about the Game Gear micros.
Oh yeah, get them.
That wasn't Sega though. That was a writer of a magazine saying he had this huge story. But that's the thing, though, is they should have not said, just don't build up hype. There's been more successful random announcements than there have announcements for announcements. I fucking hate that. And Rockstar is the biggest goddamn culprit of it, because they'll say, "Oh, mark your calendars because something's going to happen on this day," and then what is it? Literally a screenshot for Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, "Fuck you!" I know they're living up to their name and they're just doing whatever the fuck they want, but that's the worst when it's an announcement for an announcement. That drives me nuts.
Yeah. See ya, Caliph Gaming. Sorry, they're just off. But thanks for joining us. That's awesome.
They just need to learn to. Sonic doesn't need to have an announcement. People will know that something happened related to Sonic, and I know that that's not financially what Sega needs to. How Sega needs to think of it. But that's how it could go, and they'd be fine.
Yeah, but do you think stuff like this actually harms them, though? Talking from a financial point of view, do you think it would have been better if they didn't go, "Oh, let's tease this"? Because when people get disappointed, they're more likely to be turned off by something, so they're less likely to buy it. So,
I don't know
if they're not teasing some of this stuff, maybe they'll actually be better. I don't know.
I don't know monetarily wise if it affects their numbers that way, but it definitely affects their credibility for announcements. Like, that's the thing, is it's the boy that cried wolf. Like, they're going to be constantly, if they keep doing announcements like this, when they do have a big announcement, the hype isn't going to be there as much, because everyone's just going to be like, "Oh, it's a new update for Puyo Puyo, or a new update for something else," or something like that. And then it's like, boom, Sonic Mania 2, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" So I don't know. Maybe they're doing this purposely. This is where, like, video game conspiracy theories start ticking in my brain, where I'm like, maybe they're doing, the big brain move would be to do a bunch of announcements like this and then make their actual big announcement where people are just like completely caught off guard. But I give video game companies too much credit when it comes to that. So no, this is, and I was going to compare this a little bit to and it's not even really no, I can't really compare it. I was going to talk about the Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury thing that they showed off, and everyone was just like, "Oh, it's just a level and it looks like a DLC for Mario Odyssey," or something like that. And everyone's, I don't know, I can't really make the comparisons there. But even then, with that announcement, it's at least like we knew what was going on, and then they were just elaborating on it.
I think that you can, because when they first announced that, along with all the Mario 35th anniversary stuff that they had in that trailer, everyone thought that they were re-releasing Mario 3D World. Is it World or Land?
World. Land's on the DS.
Land's portable. Everybody thought like it was that game, standalone game, and additional levels, probably because that fucking game never ended and you kept getting new worlds. So of course they're going to add another new world. That's awesome. But then when they recently actually showed what it is, it's literally like a boss fight and a couple different events.
It looks like there's a bunch of like build up to do stuff. I mean, it's a kaiju fight is what it is. That's exactly what it is. It looks like a Super Saiyan Mario cat versus Godzilla Bowser. And
right,
for me, I love it. But
It's not a brand new world, which I feel was the impression they gave with that first announcement. And that's also me assuming too much because I did play the shit out of that game, and it was so massive that I thought, of course, they're going to add another world. That makes sense. But it's not that at all. So it's kind of comparable, but it's not. You guys remember the Sonic cycle?
Oh,
what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the theory of that. Sorry, Scotty, you explain it. Sorry.
I feel like the Sonic cycle started with Sonic 06, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2006. In that, sorry, what happens is Sega, a Sonic title gets announced, and everybody's super pumped, and they say like all this shit that's going to happen in the game, and then it comes out, and it is not good. Not only is it not live up to the hype, but it is also not a good game. That happened first with 06. I feel like that happened with Sonic and the Secret Rings.
It happened with Forces.
Well, yeah, Forces was when we thought the Sonic cycle was gone. At least I did, because Sonic Mania existed.
It creeped its ugly head right back.
Yeah. A lot of it is us creating our hype within our own heads, but at the same time, every time something crazy, there's just so much marketing behind Sonic, and there's so many things that were promised that it would come out and we'd be like, we don't need another character. Why are you doing this? We don't need this new gameplay. Just put the reason that the Sonic cycle exists, because they were doing everything except making a new Sonic game. So that was the problem.
We don't need your announcements. Like, just save your announcements for the games. Like, just do a little update. Be like, hey, we got an update to Puyo Puyo. Like, just do a tweet out. Like, that's going to come on Tuesday. Not make like, y'all better be getting ready for this. It's about to go down.
That was the thing, too, is they weren't promoting it as a Puyo Puyo add-on. They were promoting it as a Sonic thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. They could have just gone out with a tweet going, we're going live on Twitch, the first Twitch stream of 2021. Puyo Puyo fans, get ready, or something. I don't know, like something like that. We got an announcement for Puyo Puyo fans. Then Puyo Puyo Tetris fans were, oh, okay, I dig this, because, it's not a bad game. From what I understand, I actually haven't played it, I'm not going to lie. The new one, at least. I played the other one, but yeah, great game. Some people love it. They get those fans hyped. That's what it's there for. Because I think this is
Stockholm syndrome.
Sonic fan. Well, there might be a handful of Sonic fans out there who love Sonic so much they will go and buy Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 because you can play as Sonic as a character in it.
There will be.
But I think the majority of Sonic fans out there, like me, for example, I'll say I'm a Sonic fan. I still like some of the modern games. I'm not going to buy Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 for this, basically.
I like Sonic because I like Sonic games.
Yes.
That I like the good Sonic games. There's a lot of bad Sonic games, but like, and I'm not going. I knew Sonic was in Super Monkey Ball, and I'm like, that's not the reason. Well, first of all, I didn't buy it. I reviewed it, but I wouldn't have bought that game just because Sonic's in it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's not. I mean, I was gonna say Smash, but Smash is not a good example because literally everyone and their mother's in Smash. But it's just like and I don't want to offend anybody with this, but it's the blind fanaticism when it comes to something like that I'm like, why? Just like I get it that you like it and you want to support it, but like you're supporting the company and you're sending the wrong message. You should support them when they create a game with an IP that you like, not just because they slap the IP everywhere.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Basically, yeah. Like maybe if it's DLC for another platform game that suddenly had a Sonic DLC in it, and it was like you're playing a Sonic level or something in that game, I'm really like, oh, I might be more interested in this. But yeah, they're such different games, and it's not like you're playing a Sonic game in Puyo Puyo. It's Puyo Puyo with Sonic on the. I mean, it's just some pixels on the side of the screen. Basically, it's a guy.
That's it, and a voice line. That's it.
Yeah.
The thing I can compare this to is I absolutely love Shovel Knight. I love everything Shovel Knight. I love all 4 of the versions of the game they've released. Yacht Club Games did an amazing job with it. I have a lot of Shovel Knight merchandise, but I didn't buy the couple fighting games that Shovel Knight was in, and I didn't buy. There was a platformer where Shovel Knight was in it. I didn't buy those games strictly because I didn't buy the games, first of all, in general, but I didn't buy them. Be like, Shovel Knight's in that, I gotta buy that. Like, I didn't do that. Like, it's the same with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and I didn't buy the game because I wanted Monster Hunter. Like, I don't just blindly buy stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe we're just different kinds of people. We're not easily swayed.
And on the other side of the coin, I totally bought Marvel vs. Capcom 1 on the Dreamcast because I like Spider-Man and I like Mega Man, but I was not a fan of fighting games. I'm still not a huge fan of fighting games, but I like that series.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's what they're banging on with this. I think
the thing is, that's a good game too. So
it would have made no sense to do this. But if they announced that Sonic was somehow in the campaign for Puyo Puyo Tetris, I would be more excited to sit down and see how he fits into that weird universe.
He went so fast, he time traveled into this universe.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, that's all I really had to say. So.
Knock it off, Sega and companies.
But yeah, it's so I guess it sounds like we're basically all in agreement here, which is good, mate. But the
agreement is don't toy with our emotions.
Yeah, basically, yeah. We're
don't
people
give me
too,
hope.
Sega.
Yeah, don't you do that?
Don't you dare do that.
But yeah, it seems to me Sega realizes Sonic gets the hits and their old IPs get the hits, so let's tease about them or do them on streams and more people watch.
Graham, I wish they thought like that. They are ignoring so many old IPs. We don't need to have this conversation right now. But what you said is flat out wrong because they are ignoring so many old IPs that people would love to fucking play again.
But for their Twitch streams and stuff, it seems like the last few they've actually done, which have been successful. Well, let's just say successful. You know, they're getting a lot more than we do ever, but they're big. When they're getting 8K, 10K viewers, is when they sort of talk about, they tease Sonic for something that's not Sonic thing. And they talk about Streets of Rage 4, which is a game they didn't really have any input into. But they own the IP. So they own the IP. They didn't make the game. So it's like, ooh. But yes, they're not making those IPs. And that's the annoying thing. You know, so the one big announcement, which I think would have done really well, which was for a Sega game or Sega owned game, which Sega didn't have anything to do with Shenmue 3. When that announcement dropped, you know, the whole internet basically exploded. And it's like, this could have been a Sega announcement, but they missed that opportunity and stuff. Like it was Sony and Yu Suzuki, basically. Like just I don't know. Just that's an announcement, Sega. That's how you
quit toying with our emotions, like Scotty said.
Yeah.
Yep. All
right, boys.
Wow.
I'm glad to have been here.
So yeah, I guess that ends our discussion and also the show this week. And thanks to everyone who stuck around. I know it's been a little bit different this week, I guess. Lots of chat at the beginning, especially Doctor Who. If you enjoyed Doctor Who, thanks for coming along.
Let us know. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah, I could. You know, rap about Doctor Who for a little bit. Yeah, let's have you back on, Corey. We can talk more Doctor Who.
Oh, Lord. Let me get some episodes back under my belt. It's been a while since I've watched it. So.
Actually, it's been a while since I've watched it. I haven't watched any of the new stuff actually at all.
Yeah, I've never watched any of the Capaldi stuff. So
I'm going to say one more thing about Doctor Who, so that I sound like I'm continuing to be a psychopath. It's one of the best written things I've ever watched because there are so many different ways you can tell this story and everything. But it just reminds me how great the TV show Sliders could have been. Because that dumb show had so many possibilities. It just needed better writers and less starstruck drama. That is a show that theoretically could have lasted forever. For those that don't know, Sliders is a 90s show where they traveled to different dimensions, but the same planet Earth. That's it. Could have lasted forever, but they fucked up big time with that. And Doctor Who just reminds me of like, oh my God, this could have, doesn't matter.
I mean, the English just did it better. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take credit for that. I'm the representing England here. Thank you. Thank you. We've done one thing right. We've done one thing right for the world, it seems.
Oh my God.
I just want to read out one thing that Caesar put in the chat. This actually rounds off the discussion of the week. Sega shooting itself in the foot is like the company's trademark now. I kind of feel
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Thanks, Caesar. Cool. So with that, I'll go to Corey first, actually. Corey, is there anything you want to promote for yourself or anything like that? Like, I know Scrub podcast and stuff. Do you want to chat about
first
that,
things first, I don't want to get chastised by my other Scrubverse members. So, yes, I do a podcast with Anti-Chris, and Eddie Fuerte is our new Scrub Lord member partner, is what we call it. We do a weekly podcast. I believe episode 77 is out right now. We are actually recording episode 78 tonight of the day of we're recording this podcast. So you guys should go check that out. Check us out over on Twitter. Social media is Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. You can check us out on Scrubverse on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play podcast until it goes away. All your major listening platforms, you can check us out on there. Our episodes usually come out on like Tuesdays, somewhere around there. Another thing I would like to plug is our YouTube channel. We've been putting a lot of our clips out there. Luckily, Mr. Haru is our editor. He's a very good editor as well. He has been putting some amazing YouTube video out of our podcast episodes. So go check that out. And other than that, you can check out my personal streams. My schedule's a little crazy right now, but you check me out on Twitch at Tornado_Jones. And the last thing I will say to address the second question that Haru had earlier was this week, if this episode comes out before Thursday, we will be doing Sonic Racing Transform this week for the Thursday Night Throwdown. We will also say that we'll let everybody know in the Discord as well. We're going to do that. That's going to become a monthly thing now. We're getting a lot of people. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, should we actually read out what Mr. Haru's other question was? Because we didn't actually read that out at all.
No,
so...
I know Haru enough. I can paraphrase it. So basically, he has been playing a lot of Sonic All-Star Racing Transform. He's unlocked all the characters. I believe he's unlocked all the tracks. And he said he's ready to put us in our place, basically. He's ready to wipe the floor with us. So it's going to be interesting to see. So I'm ready for it. I'm pretty sure Scotty will be there. It's open to everybody in the Discord. You let us know if you want to play. We can, what was that?
PC version.
PC version, yes. We will be doing it on the PC version. So, but yeah, I've already talked too much this podcast, so I will throw it back to you guys.
Yeah, we can blame you for a long-winded intro, I think, if we want to. But that's kind of how Scrubverse goes. And we do pretty much stream just about every day of the week. Just the best way to keep up with that is our Twitter, which is Twitter. What is our Twitter? It's just Megavisions?
Megavisions Mag. It's actually on the screen for everybody right now. You can't see it, Scotty, but yes.
That's the only one I ever forget. Hey, if you guys want to help us out on Twitter, you can hunt down the person that has Megavisions and tell them to fucking give it to us on Twitter. Anyway, keep an eye on there. That's where we post our schedule for streaming. We are a physical magazine, so you can scroll down, click on the cover to hop on our Patreon. We have news and updates of that coming up soon. And we do have a YouTube where we put out the video versions of this. And we also, along with the audio version, can't talk. Oh my gosh, what's happening right now? And there's plenty of news on megavisionsmag.com, which is our website where we post reviews, news, features, and other crazy things. And I think that's all I've got to say as I find someone for us to raid.
Woohoo! Yeah, I just want to quickly say, follow us all on the socials. You can see it on the screen right now. Scotty just sort of mentioned as well. And thanks everyone for joining in the chat. Thanks for coming along and watching us. And we'll be back next week and more stuff like this, basically.
Stay safe out there, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, and be excellent to each other.
Honey, I got to tell you about this sandwich.